Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing out there today? This is your Uncle Steve. It's the Monday Minutia. It's November 3rd, and we are, for the third straight week, pining over a loss, another loss by the Atlanta Falcons. And now patience is running out. Now it's time for us to start panicking because this team that started with so much promise and so much off-season uh pomp and circumstance is now turning into, and I hate this phrase more than anything, the same old Falcons. Is it something we can do? Is there anything we can say that's gonna get this team over the hump? I don't know. It was a valiant effort yesterday, but you don't see a column for valiant effort. You see wins and losses. So where do we go from here? Is this season officially over for the Atlanta Falcons and, more importantly, the Atlanta Falcons fan base? Come back with me. We'll talk about it. See what we can do. We'll see. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time.
What is going on? What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is what we call the Monday Minutia, where we talk about yesterday's game and hope that we can, I don't know. I don't know if the word is find out answers or is it just commiserate together at this point. But it's something. We are at a point right now where things have gone so left that I don't know. I don't know what the answers are. I spent the day up there in Foxborough yesterday. Very unique place, I should say. I'll leave it there. Um, it felt good up until the point of the missed extra point. Um, even even at that point, it was a good game atmosphere. We'll go through it as we go, and I'll tell you all some things that happened along the way. But it was very cool. Saw Cardi B up in the booth with Robert Kraft and Kenny Chesney up there. They didn't. It's funny. They clapped a lot for Kenny Chesney. You heard a oh reaction for Cardi B, but not as much as Kenny Chesney. But at this point, I know the greatest thing everybody's gonna come on. Oh, Zach Robinson. Oh, Raheem Morris. Oh, Rich McKay. Oh, Arthur Blank, fire yourself. I get all of that. All of that is cool. It's grounds. At this point, it is grounds for all types of emotion. I feel you. I feel you completely. The emotion is very, very justified. But I just want to know, are we in or out as a fan? And here's why I asked this question. Does a coach, player, OC keep you from being a fan? Because I want it clear. I want it to be known. I could care whether it was Raheem, Dan Quinn, Dan Reeves, Mike Smith, whoever, Arthur Smith. When it's bad, it's bad. But there's still something inside of me, not for the miracle, not for we're gonna come back and make a playoff run and stuff like that. I mean, this it's just my team. And it's okay to be frustrated about your team. But I keep hearing this deep rooted. Now it's getting personal, even kind of personal to the point where I've basically had to kind of view some of the comments. I am extremely disappointed in Raheem Morris. And guess what? If he left tomorrow and we had to switch up and do it, that'd be fine. Thank you for trying. But I'm just starting to hear these little personal things that go way beyond the football field. And I think those are the times that I sit back and have to remind people, even as much of a Falcon fan that I am, that it's not that deep. And I can imagine y'all know what I mean. I don't mind if you want to talk about his ability as a head coach, fine. You want to put up his win-loss record, fine. All of that is fair game. Yeah, when I start seeing the personal crap, like where does that come from over a football team? Where does that come from? It's interesting. This is not a pro Raheem speech, too. I was the first one last week against Miami. I thought you should have made a change then. More for the OC, but it wouldn't have hurt my feelings if they did for Raheem. And if y'all think for 1 minute he doesn't feel it, he feels it. Look at him. One of the reasons I didn't come in on time, and I do apologize. I know I posted 4:00 earlier. I had one personal thing happen in between that I had to take care of. And then on top of that, I saw that Raheem had done his press conference. So I wanted to make sure I listened to it and got what I needed to get before I came on here. And if you've seen Raheem's press conferences, they really don't change much. When they lose, it's one script. When they win, it's another script. And they both of them are the same. So you kind of get what you get. That's one thing about those press conferences. Why does Mark Zeno get to talk so much? I know everybody gets down on D-Led. I like D-Led. I mean, sometimes it depends on what the question is. He can seem kind of what is Mark Zeno's like he gets to play out the scenario and tell you like he's almost like trying to teach Raheem. I don't get that. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's personal to me. It's just really weird. He asks these 2-minute questions and act like he's the smartest guy in the room. I don't get that. But I digress. So I'm just going to go straight to the comments. We'll talk about it. Hey, we might even pop up the link in here just to see if anybody has anything to say. It's just been very, very weird. I want to make sure I shout out everybody because I know a lot of you started chiming in prior to, and I appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. When I'm talking about John Higgins, I know you got a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna try to get to the live comments because some of y'all were in here. Dre, what's going on? Dre says, what a Monday, a tale of two halves. First half, we looked utterly unprepared. Second half, we balled out. Usually I would chalk that up to a young team, but it happens too much. So it's clearly coaching. But I do agree, no matter how much I've always disliked Raj, the coach. You have to give him a chance to right the ship. You can't have a carousel of coaches. Huckabuck71 says, fire Raheem, hashtag fire Raheem. And that's your right. And again, nobody's trying to say any of these opinions are right, and that's fine. That's professional. That's that's an opinion about him as a coach. That's right. Cool. I might still be late, man. I'm late. I'm very late, man. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Carl Thomas, what's up, man? Said Penix looked good. He did. Francis, how you doing? Francis said, Uncle Steve, what a game. Drake had all our touchdowns. We walked out without a win. Bijan jumped 2 feet in the air to catch the ball, but we were competitive. I thought just win. That was a great catch from Bijan, by the way. Georgia, Texas boy in the house. What's going on, man? Said, what's up, Uncle Falcons family? The new era is here. We're supposed to rise in 2025. Here come coaching changes in 2026. Sure, it seems like it. Kyle says the season is definitely over. Season not over till you eliminate it, man. I mean, I'm not. Please don't take that as if I'm thinking fairy dust in magic potions is gonna win 9 games in a row. But the season isn't over with. The season isn't over with yet. Let's see. The one thing I said from the beginning of the season that still holds true: the NFC is wide open. What I didn't expect was the Panthers to be part of that equation, the Bears to be part of that equation. I really didn't. Georgia, Texas said, just disappointed with all this young talent. We need true leadership in Atlanta. David Starks was up there. He said, what's up, Steve? I'm looking forward to the draft and our draft needs. I would say I'm looking at head coach too, but I don't see anyone out there that's an upgrade. That's funny you say that, because every time people start talking about firing, I want to see who you want to rehire. Who not rehire? Who are you going to hire? It's easy to say, get rid of them. But who are you going to replace them with? Again, not saying we don't need a change. Give me names. He said everybody would be an upgrade over Raheem at this point. Our Mike said, Uncle Steve, 8 more clock than Raheem down by 10 in the fourth quarter. Hey, man, my bad. Dre said, nah, Rod going on TV telling a bold-faced lie like there aren't millions of cameras everywhere. No one clapped. That bald-faced lie should get him his walking papers and a joke of a team. Very, very interesting that he would bring that scenario up, Dre. I was a little disappointed. I saw the press conference, and I'll talk more about my adventures in Foxborough. I thought that was very, to your point, it seems like you were kind of blaming the other team. And he came out in his press conference today and made sure that he was like, hey, listen. But yeah, it's too late now. You came out there and put that in the atmosphere. And so when you throw that out in the atmosphere, what are we supposed to think? Oh man, if they wouldn't have clapped. Oh, cheating New England. And he goes into the narrative. I mean, you feed into the narrative of New England being a cheating franchise. I do think he was scapegoating again. Absolutely. The 2 takeaways, 6 sacks, held him to 3 points in the second half. I mean, usually that's a recipe for Georgia Bulldogs to win a game, but the head coach is named Kirby and not Raheem. And maybe that's the difference. He said, yes, 22 clap, but still move on. Yeah. At that point, you can't. I mean, even if he did, that still, Michael Penix still shouldn't have thrown the ball where he threw it. That still doesn't excuse that. Still could have been a better situation. Mike says, I'm not mad at losing yesterday. I'm mad we tricked off losses to the Dolphins and the Panthers. And yesterday, Mike, you're absolutely right. The 2 losses to the Panthers and the Dolphins is right now what's making this franchise look dysfunctional. I'm not really thoroughly upset with the loss yesterday because the effort was really good. Yes, do we need a place kicker? Yes. Do we kind of need to tighten up some of that first half defense? Absolutely. Yes, Michael. You know, it way more pros than cons for Michael Penix yesterday. But in those situations, the good quarterbacks will eventually know how to do that. And again, start number 10 for Mike. Or not 10, 11 for Mike. So I, the Michael Penix isn't ready thing, hopefully that kind of dies down some. Dexter, what's going on? Say, what's good? Everyone mad at Parker, but I'm irritated with this play calling. Pitts had 38 yards first half, nothing in the second half. Yeah, it was, well, it was kind of interesting. I think Zach Robinson started listening to some of his critics. He did not go to the exact playbook. They definitely passed a lot more yesterday. But some of the formations still, to me, tip off to the defense what's going on. Too many TFLs for Bijan on a couple of plays where they knew it was coming. Too many. And not to say some good defensive guys don't catch that, but I just think he's tipping off his plays. Zach is. So we held New England to 3 points, couldn't capitalize on the win. Absolutely. David says, any person can't keep you from being a fan. If you're abandoning ship, that's your decision. You made. I'm going down with this ship for 4.5 decades, and I'll keep going down with them. And that's why I am. But that doesn't make me a better fan. I'm not telling you that. All I'm saying is it's just very disconcerting when I see people like, oh, I'm done with the Falcons. I'm like, well, good. Go. Bye. If you're at a point where 3 and 5 can be disappointing, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you. So make sure we're in the same camp. Not telling you can't be disappointed and ticked off. I am. But all of this, oh, I'm through with the Falcons. And we literally haven't played officially our 50% game yet. We still got 9 left. I'm not telling you we're going to go 8-1. I guess what I am telling you is the season ain't over. And not only the season ain't over, that's still my team. Ride or die. That's mine. So y'all don't have to announce you're leaving. Just leave. Bye. I think that's what everybody wants to hear. Oh, I'm through with this thing. Okay, good. Bye. Bye. Go. Go, because I can commiserate with the guys and gals that I know who stay 100. Whether you at the game, at home, at the bar, whatever. I know the ride or dies. And I know the ones who, when the going gets tough, they just get up out of there, lay down. Jimmy Wayne, what's going on, brothers? What's up? I wanted to be good for the Falcons, but we are worse than the Panthers, who traded away their best asset on D and still have found ways to win. It's tough time in Atlanta. It's tough for the moment. It is. It is. But you see some bright spots. And maybe it is just a matter of maybe a couple of coaching things that we have to get done. There is no doubt that looking at Pierce and Walker yesterday, you mean to tell me y'all can't see what we got going on youth-wise? Dorless just continues under the radar. And our buddy London, and I like, who would have ever thought? So, I mean, you see the young guys doing their thing on defense. Jesse snatching balls again. Drake being Drake. Penix putting it where he needs to put it for Drake to get the catches. You see all the talent in the youth, and you just say, maybe it's something up top. It is. And so what's going on, brothers? This is my team, the Falcons for life. I hear you. Atlanta Bird Gang in the house. What's going on, brother? How you feeling today? I was trying to get my clapping for you, man. I don't know what happened. Oh, there you go. Y'all make sure y'all check Tidy out. I know he came out with his video yesterday as well. Disappointment runs in the Atlanta Falcons content creator circle. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube doing this thing. He said, I'm 10 toes and 10 fingers down still, Steve. These choking birds didn't have a Super Bowl when I first became a fan and still don't now. They still have my full support. Nothing has changed. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm just talking about. Nobody's trying to say. So in other words, almost like those Cub fans that had to wait, the Boston fans that had to wait, the Philly fans until recently, me and Philadelphia Eagles, they ain't been winning Super Bowls every year. They just started the year after we went. And sometimes it might take something weird. I don't know. David says, and my feeling he, along with Terry, would throw Zach under the bus to get themselves another year like Quinn did, Manuel, and Sarkisian. Yeah. Raheem doesn't survive a losing season. He doesn't survive a losing season. No way. Not with this team. Big Low Country Sports in the house. What's going on, Big Low? Y'all know Big Low Country Sports. He was always doing this thing. He had his emergency coaches meeting yesterday. I was just getting off the plane when he was on. I was listening to. It's a sad thing. It's a sad day here, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out and go subscribe and like to the channels. He said Raheem sounded defeated in this press conference a few minutes ago, and really low. And you and I talked offline about this. Even yesterday, when don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting you to be up there with flowers and smiles and all of that stuff right after the game, but I think he knew. I think he knows. In my opinion, just my opinion, I think this Colts game and how you perform in this game becomes such a decision maker for whether he comes back from Berlin still in charge of this team. I really feel that way. If the team gives an effort like they did against New England, they might give him his passport back and let him come back. But if he doesn't, he might well get that Rosetta Stone and start learning some German. I don't know. Dre says, none of that keeps me from being a fan, but some point you have to show the customer of the product that you're selling that you care, that they spend their money and time on this product, return on the investment. There is absolutely zero wrong with that statement. And that's fair as a counter to what I'm saying. I'm not telling you that's not an expectation you shouldn't have. And there is an accountability level that Arthur, Greg Beatles, Rich McKay, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, the coaching staff, the players, all have to the fans, and more importantly, the folks who are going to these games and investing. You have to look out for them. Absolutely, you do. Titus says Zeno has that typical "I'm smarter than you" Southerners attitude. No offense. Yeah, it is. He does. And I'm gonna tell you, I ran into a lot of that yesterday. Well, I'll talk on that in a second. Y'all make sure, by the way, y'all like the video. If you're on YouTube, please like the video. We appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We appreciate everyone joining us, especially on Sundays and Mondays. Sundays, I usually come on after the game. I was on the road, so I didn't get an opportunity to come on because I was trying to hurry up out of that teeny weeny little town that they decided to stick the stadium into. Really weird. It's kind of halfway between Providence and Boston, Foxborough. And it's this little town. I would almost say think something like to me, think something like Noonan, or if you're up north, something like Dorville or whatever. And there's like nothing. It's these little, I don't want to say dirt roads or nothing, but they're like these spans of road where it's nothing. Then all of a sudden you come upon a stadium. And right around the stadium, they got CVS and a couple of stores. But then you go about 2 miles out, you got nothing. So it's a very interesting place they put it. Um, there was some interesting dynamics up there. I, I know Boston has a little bit of a stigma, as they would say, but yeah, yeah, the brothers weren't exactly over there in Foxborough as deep. On the field, they were, but in the stadium, it was interesting, and got a couple of little, caught a couple of little strays up there, that some folks who had been drinking, and you got the apologist. Don't worry about Park. Don't worry about him. He's talking about that. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, y'all, okay, yeah, I'm 50-year-old. Yeah, I get you. Some of them don't know what they saying when they get a little drunk. But it was interesting to run into that. Not gonna stereotype the whole crowd, but yeah, it was interesting. Shout out to my brother Berto, who was up there, him and his son. Now make sure y'all check Berto out, 95 North Sports. He was up there at the game, got a chance to chop it up with him a little bit. Uh, it was so crowded in there. I don't know if you all saw my video that I had prior to the game. I took a picture. It was like 10 minutes before the game started. And when I say 95% of the seats were filled, now, granted, it's Foxborough, so maybe they didn't have anywhere else to go. So, but I just found that very interesting. But that's also what maybe 6 Super Bowls will do for you. So we'll see. Scott says, man, I wish a reporter asking Raheem those questions. I was a reporter asking, I'm sorry. I wish I was a reporter asking Raheem those questions. As soon as he gives those same responses, I would say, so you're going to tick on us and tell us that it's raining. Here's the problem, though, Scott. I mean, at some point, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not trying to be funny with some of us as fans. What do y'all expect him to say? I understand if you see that something under you're in charge of, and it's going down, and you know your job depends on it. Yeah, to a certain extent, you can be honest, but there's also a certain extent that you're going to try to protect yourself too. Of course, you're going to give the same answers over and over again. Of course, you're going to seem like what they got McCall. You keep saying the same thing over and over again. Of course you are. Because he knows, like we know, that whatever messaging is going on, it ain't working at the moment. I'm willing to give chances, but those chances keep running out, man. We can't afford right now for there to be any more mistakes. You really can't. You really can't afford anymore. Mike says we can definitely still make the playoffs if we capitalize. You got to. I mean, if you can, that's the mentality you have to have. Bigelow says, give me Mike McCarthy. That was one of the names I was bringing if all things come to an end. That was one of the things, one of the people I was talking about. But I don't think Mike wants to come in mid-season, though. I don't think he'd do that. I think he's somebody that would start over. Scott also turns around and says, I'm 100% in, but out on how they're sinking a perfectly good ship. I can hear, and I respect that. I respect that. Mike said that's the tragedy of settling with Raheem. That coaching market was full of better candidates than Raheem. Now it's slim pickings. If we look at that coaching, Ben Johnson wasn't going anywhere. He had been, I don't think Ben Johnson was going, and I think we called him in. I remember we called in the defensive guy for Carolina. I know we called in Harbaugh, who's at the Chargers now. I know we called in. We gave Wilkes an interview. We gave a lot of people an interview. We gave Belichick an interview. I don't know if I want any parts of that right now. It's easy to sit here and say we should have gone for this. The only person that I look at that I almost wish, and again, we only going by a little bit. Ben Johnson is probably in the same position that Raheem was last year. Raheem, this time last year, we were kind of riding high. So I don't know. Let's see how it plays out with that. It really was slim pickings when we hired Raheem. We kept talking about all these coaches, but which of those coaches other than Harbaugh is really turned out to be something? We interviewed Aaron Glenn last year. So I don't know. Carl says, Coach's Corner, what did my quarterback do yesterday? What was his stats? I know he threw for 2. I know he threw 3 touchdowns, and I know his passer rating was. I'm gonna have to look up here and see. Scott says, in my opinion, hold on 1 second. Let's see something. He said, excuse me for the burp. In my opinion, they're getting personal because he's blatantly lying to the fans. And when you lie to people or act like we're stupid, I can see how it can get personal. I guess in a world of, to me, in a world of 2 wrongs don't make it right, you might subscribe to that, but I just don't think that's the right, I don't think that's the right answer. Carl says the coach go. He's still asking him that. Dirty Bird, what's going on? He said, Ra knows the writing is on the wall. He does. He does. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I got to see one message. There we go. Coach says wouldn't say he outplayed him, but MPJ needs work. You can't just dirt a ball off a bad snap on game-winning drive. You have to be a better football IQ, and that comes with time. I wish a lot of y'all were here for young Matt Ryan. And when I say that, because Matt Ryan was so protected. He was so protected. We had a decent defense. We had a Michael Turner at that time who, he had been running behind LT, but he had a lot of carries left in him. And we got a really good coach in Mike Smith who didn't put the game all in Mike's hands. Mike is making the same mistakes Matt Ryan was. Matt Ryan did not start off this franchise the first 3 years as a Hall of Fame quarterback. And that's stretching because I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback for the Falcons, but I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But we haven't even given Michael Penix Jr. a full year. And we got all of these, he's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. Matt Ryan had like 3 or 4 games like Penix has had. Like Penix had in the Tampa game, like Penix had in the Buffalo game, like Penix had yesterday. Good games, but we are so quick to make Michael Penix Jr. We want to make him this all-pro after 1 year. It ain't going to happen, y'all. And if you go back and look in time, there are very few quarterbacks that do. Now, I don't know if Jaden made an all-pro. I don't think he did. He shouldn't have last year. But rookies don't do that. Clayton, what's going on? Clayton says, Zach Robinson, Bertrand, and Hughes, I'm sick of tired of them. Raheem, 10 wins is the magic number, or you next? You on the list too? Other than that, Terry, find us a kicker, rise up. I love my Falcons. Love it, Clayton. Love it. Love it. Jimmy Wayne says, if we looking at head coach candidates, my guys are Joe Lombardi, offensive coordinator, Denver, Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator, Green Bay, Cliff Kingsbury, offensive coordinator, Washington, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator, Buffalo, Seahawks, offensive coordinator, Kubiak. I rather Kubiak knowing he won't limit Penix. Here's the thing you got to think about too. Whoever you bring in, you might have a dilemma. And I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want Albrecht to go anywhere. I really don't. So I don't know. We might have to make some promises to him that we normally don't do. I don't want him to go anywhere because he is really 6 sacks, Dorless balling out, London balling out, Walker showing. For everybody who's like, oh, it's a wasted pick in game 1 when he didn't get the sack that everybody thought he was going to have. Come back off an injury, balling like that. Clayton said 1 for 10, third downs, unacceptable on offense. Totally. Online Tuna, what's going on? Said needing a culture change, going for 2 on that final touchdown would have been the tough as nail Dan Campbell-like call. I disagree. You had way too much time in that game. And remember, it was like 4 minutes, something left. You had time. Your defense had been holding New England. There was no rush. There was no panic. You just got to get your kicker to hit the extra point. You got to. I hear you. Yeah, Dan Campbell. Yeah, Dan Campbell, he's kind of when he does it and they win, he's hard-nosed. When he doesn't and he loses, he's like the worst quarterback. The worst head coach in the game. David Starks says, people talking about the better candidates out there. Don't forget our quarterback situation.
I love that, Smith.
Who was signing up for that. Absolutely. That's fair. Jimmy Wade says, I wanted McDonald to come from that crop. Yep. Scott said Mike Singletary was honest. He was. And he stuck around and Mike Singletary, the difference with Mike Singletary was in kind of a Deion Sanders thing. He had so much respect. Super Bowl champ, leader of the Super Bowl, a leader on that Super Bowl defense. And he was coming from a place of, at that time, people didn't want to poo-poo on him. It's a different era now. If you don't do anything after 2 years, you're out of there. David said, Michael, the burner Turner rushed for 1,600 yards that year to protect Matt in his rookie season. Absolutely. And that's what I'm talking about. When I hear all this uber criticism of Michael Penix Jr., it bothers me because I really feel like if some of y'all, not all of y'all, but those of y'all that were there when Matt started his career, Matt didn't really start flourishing as a passer really until 11 when Julio came on the scene. He really didn't. If we're honest with ourselves. But in today's age of the replay is on Twitter before the end of the game, and it's kind of hard. Online 2 said, gives Mike at least 2 more years to develop. He has it for sure. Absolute winner. The coaches, play calling, kicker let him down yesterday. It's fair. Dre said, that's my point. He needs work. He not there yet, but there is nothing wrong with saying that. But people got to stop crowning him on the. But you know why they crowning him, Dre? You know why. Because we ain't had nobody. We literally and granted, we should have let go of Matt probably a year before we actually did. So I absolutely I absolutely understand why the hype, if we're being honest with you, the hype was brought on my boy too.
I love Desmond.
Don't make me pull up. Don't make me pull up receipts online. Oh, some of y'all were trying to tell me Arthur Smith had a diamond in the rough. And not that I'm anybody's expert. Uh, uh. 2 games into the season, wins at Carolina and a young Green Bay team. I told you. Desmond, he just needs a chance. But y'all ain't gonna give Michael Penix a shot. Michael Penix is gonna be fine. Michael Penix is gonna learn. Boy, if we can go back to 08 and look at those mistakes that Matt Ryan made, but we didn't have to worry about it because we had a Michael Turner, because we had a pretty decent offensive line. You had Mud Duck still underneath protecting Matt. You still had some semblances of a decent defense with Abraham there. Brought in Tony Gonzalez as an outlet. Still had Rowdy Roddy catching passes, but more importantly, a young Julio to really expand him. But before that, if we're really talking about what Matt Ryan was from 08 to 10, in the immortal words of my buddy on the Marcus Washington, he was cheeks. I love how you says that. Y'all be making up. But he was. Matt Ryan was not the greatest quarterback in the world those first 3 years. I know he didn't have a losing record, but he wasn't. But he did have a better team, and more importantly, he had a better head coach. Man, y'all boy, people ran Mike Smith out of here, and it wasn't really his fault. Okay, that's my end of my diatribe. Clayton said, Penix and our young defensive rooks going to need time. They on hands training next year. IQ should be better. It will be. Online Tuna said the defense straight up balled yesterday. Not on Mike at all. Need help at wide receiver. Yes. Cortez says we need to keep Nate Ollie too. That's the thing you start thinking about. Some of the folks that you brought in with Raheem, some of them might want to leave with Raheem if he left. Dre says, that's what I've been saying. Penix is young and needs to work, but to crown him great already is wild to me, and put unfair expectations on him. Let him grow. Absolutely. John Kemp, what's up, John? Says, Arthur Blank is not going to fire Raheem now. More likely at the end of the season. We are not going to the playoffs this year. I mean, that's your opinion, brother. I got you. Toddy says, you are absolutely correct with the Matt Ryan comparison. Much respect to Ice, but as a rookie, he had 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Turner had more rushing touchdowns that year than Ryan had passing. And I didn't even know that stat, but I believe it. And when you think about Tidy, those numbers right there would get you benched today. 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, they'll get you benched in 2025. And again, none of this is shading Matt. None of this is shading Matt. I'm just saying, but from the terms of being a competent quarterback, it took Matt probably, in my opinion, by 2010 where he was starting to get it. 2008 and 2009, he was just lucky he had the surrounding cast that he did. Dre said, yeah, they crowned Ritter as well. Yes, they did. Like I said, all I think I have to do is go back and look. Online Tuna says, 2-point conversion. Look where Dan Campbell has taken Lions from and to, though. I'm talking the world against us. Whole team has his back, win or lose. Raw already playing scared with a target on his back. Let me be transparent Tuna, and say I'm not the biggest Dan Campbell fan, almost like I wasn't buying what Dan Quinn with the Brotherhood as a no, I was buying it at Super Bowl time. Oh, trust me, I had the t-shirt and everything. But I think what happens is all of that stuff is great when you're rolling. But let's also remember uh Roulette Dan Campbell kind of took some chances in a NFC championship game 2 seasons ago that possibly could have got him in. He also last year, with the best record in the NFC, lost in game 1 to a rookie. So, am I saying Dan Campbell is horrible? No. Am I saying I guess I'm saying he can go for all the 2-point conversions and fourth downs all he wants to. That doesn't make you a better coach. It just sometimes make you more lucky than better, if that makes sense. Carl says Penix way better than Ritter. Oh yeah, I don't think I don't think he was even saying that. I think we're all saying that. I was just saying the hype of it. Here in Atlanta, we overhype people before we overhyped. I mean, he's doing well now, Bijan. We overhyped Penix, unfortunately. We overhyped Jalen Walker and Pierce initially because we don't have those type of players flying around here all the time. Pittsburgh, when they bring in folks and keep, reloading and keep doing what they're doing, they don't do those quick comparisons because they have a franchise worth of Hall of Fame star players that did it already. We want that. So we'll put the extra hype on everybody. Tidy says Penix last 4 games, 256 yards per game, 103 rating, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 8 yards per attempt. I mean, and I, as the best off-screen producer for Uncle Steve's Lounge that Tidy always is, and I appreciate that. If you probably go back and look at Matt Ryan's first 8 games, I guarantee you his numbers aren't this. Guarantee you. The mere fact that he said there were 11 interceptions already, yeah, his numbers are already much better than that. So he will be fine. Everyone don't come into the league like Mahomes and Jaden Daniels. They don't. They don't. They really don't, y'all. Carl Thomas says Jaden Daniels ain't no better than Penix, never had been. Last year, Jaden caught lightning in a bottle. I'm not ready to put him down, but I'm not ready to say Penix is better at this juncture. I know they both came out at the same time, but I just hold off right now on both of them because it's not fair to Mike because he hadn't done it for a full year. Jaden did it for a full year. You have a little bit more to go by. Tidy says a Julio Jones type of talent will make a world of difference. With that being said, much respect to Ice, but let Penix have a chance to grow and mature. Turner had 17 rushing touchdowns. That's ridiculous. Woo. Clayton says next 4 games should be a breeze. It's not even the Aints game. I'm hoping and wishing they go win 7-game winning streaks, but that's la la land. I love my Falcons. Absolutely. Scott says, I'm not saying personal attacks are right, but you got people who spent thousands on this team and maybe spent when they shouldn't have. I can see them feeling a certain way. And that's fine. And again, Scott, you have the absolute right to feel how you want to feel. But I've been a season ticket holder since the $10 seats when they switched to the $10 seats up there. Nobody every year sticks a gun to my head and says, go buy merchandise. Go buy tickets. Go upgrade to this section. Go here. I get your meaning. I hear what you're saying. And I have the right, just like you have the right, to say, you know what? This is 7 straight years of losing. I keep investing my money in it. You know what? And I've heard people say that last year. You know what? I'm done. I'm going to default on this PSL. I'm going to go on my own way and be gone. All of that is fair game. I just don't think, in my opinion, I just have a different way of doing it. Let's put it that way. And that's fair. I just have a different way. Tabro says, have to improve depth moving forward this season. At Blottomy, yeah, the depth must improve. That's a Terry thing. Toddy says, Dan Campbell, 3-1-13 first year, second year, 9-8. It wasn't instant success with him either. I say the Dan Campbell thing, he was the soundboard for the first year. And then after that, he became, he built a good team. I give him credit. He built a good team. And give him a lot of credit. I'm going to do something I normally don't do on the Monday Minutia, but since I'm a little earlier and you all were so patient on waiting on me going in, I'm going to put the link in there. So if anybody wants to jump in and give their opinion, I am more than willing to let y'all jump in and come in and see what y'all talking, what we're saying. And my biggest thing was for the fans. Is it officially over for the 2025 Atlanta Falcons? I don't think it is, but Dre said, I tempered my expectations this season. Young team. I knew this was going to be a tough year. I think next year is the run year, and the year after that is the chip run. I think the coaching makes it worse. It was fair because I do remember you telling us not to drink the Kool-Aid a little early. And you were right. But as fan oriented as I am, it's hard. It's just really hard. I'm just trying to tell you, it is. Carl says, definitely not. Will never give up on the Falcons, but I'm watching from the couch until Raheem is gone. Fair point, Carl. Fair point. Trey said, with Corona. Matter of fact, as you come in, hey man, okay. For the record, for those of you that think the Falcons have turned me into a booze hound, this is apple juice. Oh, here.
I straight thought that was a Corona. That's a good one.
Hey, for these Falcons, man.
That's a good one.
By the way, everybody, make sure, and I apologize, Dre, because I came in late. Y'all make sure y'all check out the Coach's Corner. Actually, I'm gonna be. Is it okay for me to say it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with the Coach's Corner this week, so y'all make sure y'all check them out. Check us out, and I'm gonna love chopping it up with him. And as much as I love, he's always been very. The one thing I can appreciate about Dre is Dre don't tell me what I want to hear, which is always good. That's the great thing about opinions in this space. So speaking of opinion, Dre, listen, from a coaching standpoint, there's such a disconnect, it seems, going on. What would you right now, if you were Terry Fontenot and you had to go in and say, hey, Heem, it ain't working. What would you do as a general manager right now in his position?
That's a hard one. Because I guess it really depends on how you look at the season. If you look at the season like it's over, I mean, there's no need waiting to the end of the year. Just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and fire him. If you think, but actually, if I was the general manager, and people know I have been a vocal critic of Raheem since last year. I mean,
Yes,
like
sir.
I have never thought he
Fair
was a good
critic.
coach.
Fair critic. Fair critic.
Right. But with that being said, I am going to be your pessimism has rubbed off on me, and I'm going to say you got to give Raheem this year, because if you fire him, you're stunning the growth of all your new young players. You got to give him time to sort of right the ship. The players have your new rookies and your inexperienced 1 to 3 year players. They have had Raheem. Changing a whole regime now will set literally them back. I think a year or two back. So at least for this year, I feel like if I was a GM, I would definitely retain him, but Zach got to go. Like that is just a must. He has to go. And this whole pistol situation, you know, we were in that last year when Kirk Cousins was the quarterback, and I truly believe Kirk when he say, a lot of the times last year he just basically did his own thing, and you could tell in the play calling, like you could tell he was audibling out of things that was being called, because we looked totally different as an offense
Right.
till he got hurt. So I would definitely keep Raheem for the young players, but Zach has to be replaced.
Right. Absolutely. I'm gonna read a couple of people that hadn't come in. Nerd King came in, and thanks Nerd King. He said, I can't take these blood pressure birds no longer. Shout out to the Water Boys. I saw the Water Boys on today. Shout out to them doing their thing, man. Always strapped up is in the house. Say, I honestly not a coach and never have been, Uncle Steve. I have an opinion like everyone else. However, we have to give him a chance to change this franchise. If he is fired, bring in Mike McCarthy or Clint Kubiak. I'm trying to get somebody who hadn't been in here. Tabro
I
says,
second that.
hopefully.
Like, you got him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Dre.
No,
Dre,
no,
go
no.
ahead.
I was just saying, again, I am no fan of Raheem Morris. Like I
Mhm.
have spoke about, you know, his leadership of men. To me is wrong for the NFL. Not every person is suited to be a coach in the NFL. That doesn't make him a bad guy, nothing like that. I don't hate him personally. I just don't think he's the coach for an NFL team. But
Mhm.
now that he is our coach, I mean, you got to give him a shot. Can't continue to have a carousel of coaches, because that proven head coach, that coach that has some weight up under his belt, that commands respect, it's not going to want to come here if you show no loyalty to your coaches. So you got to give him a shot.
And you
As
and
hard as that is for me to say.
yeah, and but it is kind of to unlearn everything you've done for the summer and then buy in to somebody who's coming in on a temporary basis. I can understand how that comes out. How that is going to be a difficult transition. Transitioning into two new guests into the stage here. Wolfman Clay is in the house. What's up, Wolfman? Okay, Wolfman just left. And now I don't know. Ryan probably kicked him off. I don't know what he did. The historian is in the house from his Birdcage LCC. Ryan, the historian, is here. What's going on, Ryan? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? Shoot, I
Mhm.
wish I could. I wish I could flip them letters. That LLC is mother. But no, man. I was never a Raheem fan from the start, but because he has the right now, a lot of us don't trust him because you have yet to take accountability for really a lot of things. And I saw when you and Berto popped in yesterday, I shouted you guys out because, man, look, when you have a roster that you were provided and as talented as this team is, because they've shown flashes that they can contend for a playoff spot or even make a playoff run. That's the type of talent that's on this team. But the thing that I've been preaching on the show is consistency. That is the word. There's no such thing as a consistent football team. And the one thing that's different between him and Dan Campbell, now Dan's a first-time head coach. You got to give him that. But the thing that he has is consistency. He never wavered from a lot. And then when he saw something was not working, he was able to say, you know what, let's go ahead and change this. He's consistently evolving and not staying in the same spot. Because think about it. You got Aaron Glenn, his D coordinator that's up in New York that's struggling. You have his offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, that has Chicago winning right now. And he's still able to bring up guys in his system that were groomed. And guess what? There's going to be the next crop of coaches that's going to keep his system flourishing. So at this point, you got to give Raheem at least 3 years. You got to give him at least 3 because you gave Dan Quinn 4. You gave Arthur Smith 3. You at least have to give him a chance to get through this second year. The third, like right now, yeah, the seat needs to be hot right now. It needs to be hot. But next year is going to be the year that is either going to make or break your career at this point.
Let me ask both of y'all a question because I respect both of you guys' opinion on all things Falcons when we start talking about it. Yeah, I hear you with the Arthur Smith got 3. And some argue whether he should got that third year or not.
He shouldn't have.
He really shouldn't have.
He shouldn't.
But you know what the sympathetic part was, which is going into my question, is that let's not act like he had a roster that showed the potential of what this roster has. So starting with you, Ryan, and then going to Dre, because of what's been brought here, Terry has done a great job over the last year or so bringing in, I would think, some of the right players. Do you still think that could be grounds for not being able to make these really good players and this team a winning team? Because I think that's the only caveat, Ryan, that I would disagree to say. I hear what you're saying about, and Tidy alludes to it right here, about making a habit of firing and hiring coaches every 2 years. I agree with that. But will we also agree that the cupboards would stop a little bit better for Raheem? And start with you, Ryan, and go to Dre.
It's not just the cupboards being stocked. Here's the one thing that Arthur had that you did not see. We were in financial hell when Terry showed up. Terry balanced out the books first. That's the business side that no one talks about because we were in the negative. And Terry balanced out that book. So when he had autonomy, because Steve, you watched the Steve Weiss interview when he came on the show with me.
I did.
Steve Weiss even said, hands down, Terry was on the business side before he got into making decisions. He was in the room, but he didn't make the full decision starting off with the players because he had to earn the trust of the front office first. That was the whole thing. And you're right. Arthur walked into a messed up situation. Right. The situation that Raheem walked into, you were able to get a little bit more money. You were able to bring in certain pieces. And I get last year, you had the defense. You pretty much had a team that could have made a playoff run, but we choked it away. It's just what it is. But at this point right now, you moved up. You've given up your first round pick. You got 2 rookies that's balling that you got in the first round. And then you were able to make moves that made sense to strengthen your defense. But the problem is we have too many yes men in this building and nobody that's going to shake it up. But at this point, you have him here and you have to let it ride out because like Tidy said in the chat, what's going on, Tidy? You cannot continue to you cannot keep throwing away coaches after every 2 to 3 years because no one's going to want to come here and coach. And then you're going to be taking a gamble on guys that are unknown at that point. And that right there is going to continue to keep setting us back. And you're still not going to be able to get free agents to come through here if you don't have any type of stability at that point.
I appreciate it, Ryan. Do me a favor next time and hold off on speaking to Tidy. I hadn't put the cash app to him yet, and he likes to get paid. He likes to get paid before I do it. So I was trying to make sure that I had paid him first, but I appreciate you, Ryan.
I need to throw him $1 then. Shoot, I'm sorry.
That's
I messed your money up, dog.
Yeah, that's how he works. That's our relationship now. He don't come on until I pay him, right? Quick. So Dre, while I'm doing cash app, could you go ahead with your point for me, sir?
Yes, sir. So I agree with some of what my man from the Birdcage said. But this is the problem with Rod, the same as it was with Arthur Smith, and I think what that will be the saving grace for the Falcons. With Arthur Blank, pursuing a high named, high value, high dollar target. Even though I think Rod should get another season, the one thing that Arthur Blank could push to anyone that he's trying to recruit, if they are fired, is, Raheem basically sunk himself, just like Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith's issue was, yeah, we didn't have no money. Yeah, we didn't have this, that, and the third. But he rode and drove home that he could make any quarterback winner, and that just wasn't the case. Just like in this situation, Raheem Morris rode with two rookie coordinators that now he can't, in my opinion, he can't get rid of Zach Robinson this year. Zach Robinson has to finish the year, because if he gives him his walking papers, that means you have fired both of your coordinators you came in the building with. You fired a wide receivers coach. You're telling the brass and the powers that be, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to hire. I don't have the ability to get good coaches or notice good coaches. So I believe they are tied at the hip. And I think that is the one thing that will allow the Falcons, even though, like Toddy has said, I've said, and multiple people have said, you can't have a carousel of coaches. I think that it would be the one saving grace for a high dollar coach, a coach of value, is that, look, I gave them, the rope, but they proverbially hung themselves with it by not hiring, putting the right people in place. Can you do better? Or we have the quarterback, but doubling down on a third round quarterback, saying that you can make anyone a winner and we didn't win. Can you do better than those two? And which I think most coaches of stature, most coaches who have winning under their belt would, by and large, be able to say, "Oh, yeah, I could do better than that." So I think that's really what not Terry, Ross shot himself in the foot, was putting two rookie coordinators up under him. I understand he wanted to create his own coaching tree, but now that coaching tree is more than likely going to get you fired. So
Absolutely. Let me shout out real quick a couple of folks. Artavius Dixon said, we're going to keep Raheem Morris, get rid of Zach Robinson. He has a talented offense, but he doesn't know how to unlock the offense or groom Penix as a QB. Hey, Artavius, Jack Doe, my resident Pittsburgh Steelers fan, probably still riding high after that win over the Colts, said Blank hired a yes man. All of his coaches are yes men. Blank is a Southern Jerry Jones. He is not as vocal as Jerry, but he hires mediocre coaches. We should have hired Vrabel, which is somebody that we did bring in, like for the hiring process. Cortez says, I will say earlier during Raheem's press conference, he did admit that he said the Patriots were clapping in a moment of anger. Hopefully he could turn the team around. And in my opinion, not you, Cortez. In my opinion, that was kind of a scapegoat thing to me. I think you have to have your guys trained better. And bigger than that, Michael has got to know how to get rid of that ball a little bit better. I know the guys are coming right at him, but you gotta do it better than that. Tidy, uh, and I felt like I've been talking to you for the same stuff for the last 7 to 8 years because we keep running into this same situation of what do we do with a losing team and what's the solution? First, to answer the question, do you think 2 years is too? And I read your statement, but the 2 years Raheem has been here, I would say the cupboard has been stacked more than it has been. Would you say in the last 4 or 5 years? And would that be more of a reason for a quick hook before we just get totally invested in that? And yeah, just could you go with that and then just expound how you want to, brother?
Sure. Good evening, everybody, as well.
Good evening.
All right. I would say, like you say,
Okay,
Steve.
like I'm in church and stuff. I don't just like, good evening. Let Toddy ready to cuss. God dang it. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I do agree that, there appears to be more talent on the team currently than we have had the last 4 or 5 years. I definitely would agree on that. On the flip side, Raheem could argue, well, I'm a part of that also, because during my tenure, minus, probably like Bijan and like Drake, but a lot of these guys that y'all get on y'all YouTube show and talk about on defense, these are my guys.
Right.
I brought these guys here,
Right.
so I should get a little bit of that credit if that's what I gotta go up against. Raheem Morris, man, dealing with our fan base is probably the most polarizing hire that I have experienced in my lifetime. And just like I think I heard Ryan said, I know Coach said, because he done said it to me 3 billion times, but I was not a Raheem Morris guy. When we discuss, hey, who should be the next head coach, he was never on my short list. But as we all know, none of us make those decisions. They don't even read our emails in regards to who we should hire as coach. He's here. He's here now. You hired him. You went through the process. You hired him. And, it's nothing to most NFL teams, but he did provide the franchise their best season at 8-9. And I'm not celebrating the losing season, so don't get me wrong. But I do think that buys him a little leeway, I think that gives him just a little bit of equity where Arthur Blank will say, okay, you got 8-9 here. Let's see what you do in the second year. Now, the second year has been a roller coaster ride like none other. You go out there and beat Minnesota on the road. You beat Buffalo, and I think Buffalo still only has 2 losses, one of those being Atlanta. And for the most part, you dominate Buffalo. We control the whole game, but then you lose to Carolina, and you also lose to Miami in embarrassing fashion. So it's those losses like that to Miami and Carolina that magnify Raheem's situation. Because you get another loss like that, the only way you probably can survive that is if you end the season with a winning record. And like Coach has said, and I wrote on the chat, you really don't want to get in this situation where you're hiring and firing coaches every 1.5, 2 years, because no matter how we may try to put it in a certain perspective that makes it make sense, the next highly touted coaching candidate really don't want to step into that because that's really instability. And that's Steve. I know you done made all the money in the world. You retired, on jets, but us other guys, we still work, Steve. And in our careers,
Tidy $1,000 at Cash App.
Cha-ching. And in our career, Steve, us working, man, when we think about career changes or we're about to make a career change, we don't want to step nowhere where there's obvious instability at. We would rather go somewhere else where we feel like, hey, man, there's some job security here, good benefits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So And then you got to look at the fact not only that we are the Falcons. You know, when I hear people why we didn't hire Jim Harbaugh and why we didn't get this guy, you know, we the Falcons. You know, like you know we ain't the Apple, you know, of the NFL. We're not Google. So that's something we have to keep in perspective as well. You know, in terms of hiring and firing Raheem. And I'll finish this and just say, with us fans, me included, a lot of times, you know, we get in our feelings, we get emotional, and we have knee-jerk reactions a lot of time. You know, we want to fire this person, bench this person, fire this person, because it will make us have some type of satisfaction temporarily. But that don't always mean it's the right thing to do. So Raheem is sitting at 3-5, and if Raheem is as terrible and if Zach is as terrible as we say they are, let it play out. They'll be out here soon anyway. Just go ahead and let it play out. I don't think nobody on this panel, nobody watching this, think the Falcons are a Super Bowl team this year. So hey, let it play out.
let it play. There are very few times that I have this much football acumen in here. So I'm going to take this time to have a little fun with y'all and let's answer some questions not having to deal with Raheem or Zach Robinson, and just hear some good football information from you right now. Falcons have gone through 8 games. It's not officially the halfway point. That'll be next week, but who cares? Let's go through this at the moment. Your halfway point MVP for the Atlanta Falcons. Coach, go with you, then Ryan, then Tidy.
Ooh, that's a hard one, but I'm gonna have to say, you know, everyone know I'm a defensive guy, so it's going to be on defense. And of course, when I want to talk about it, I can't think of his name. Hold up, Diablo will be my MVP of the Falcons so far. I mean, all you have to do is look at what's going on since he's been out. That shows you he was the heart and soul of this defense. So he definitely will be my MVP. We got. I mean, I know he has to get healthy, but my God, we need back ASAP.
Talk to me, Ryan.
My defensive, I'm a defensive guy myself. So the guy that I've been preaching on since he's been here, because the boy been wreaking havoc since the Peach Bowl against the Dogs, Zach Harrison. I've been preaching about this kid since he stepped foot in this organization. And you can see that Calais Campbell had an impact on this kid while he was here. And you see the time that he was up under him, he learned how to be a professional. And he supplanted David Onyemata, who was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to supplant Grady. But you have Harrison here that is a natural defensive end, but Harrison's able to play every spot on the defensive line, and he's disruptive. And a lot of the things that he does not show up on the stat sheet. But if you look at what he's done this year for playing on that line and moving around, he's got 8 solo tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. And you got to remember, he's also injured right now. So when he's out there, think about how Jalen Walker, Pierce, and all those boys was eating when he was eating those double teams that no one talks about.
That's a good one. And in the chat, if y'all can answer the same questions, we're going. Who's your halfway point MVP? Warner Robbins, what we got?
Well, the wartime gonna go on offense. Since the other guys went defense, I got to go on offense. I'll go with the obvious, of course. You know, the guy that's wearing Michael Vick number, Bijan Robinson. When he's running, well, I shouldn't say running, but when he's going, we have a good chance of winning the games. And when you quote unquote contain them, you know, that increases our likelihood of losing. Phenomenal talent. So Bijan would be my MVP thus far, halfway through the season.
I was going, as much as Diablo would probably be number 2, and I can't help but to say, man, it's just been so different since he's gone. Yesterday was the first time, and I don't think it's a coincidence. That's when Jalen Walker came back. That's the first time it's looked like the defense of the first 5 games since yesterday. But I think I have to go with Bijan. I don't think it's a coincidence. The 3 games we won, he had over 150 yards in scrimmage. And the 5 games we lost, he hasn't. So we move and groove as far as he goes. I hate that Raheem put that out there because I do feel like you need to have some diversified ways like you did with Drake yesterday. Show the world that you can pass as well. Now they got to pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. I see tables. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, y'all, of course, y'all are right as well. I love defense, but Tidy told me something. I think it was last week that blew my mind. That really just lets you know how great, literally how Hall of Fame Bijan will end up. And Tidy, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we are like 28th in run block win rate, and Bijan is still doing what he does on the field. Is just out of this world amazing.
We were 31st going into the Patriots game and run block win rate. So essentially last place going into the Patriots game. I don't think it changed much out of the Patriots game.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think so.
But 31st next to last, and Bijan doing what he does. I mean, that should blow the top off your lid. Like that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be nice to be able to kind of do some other things too, kind of like we did yesterday. I think we were a little bit short, but it was nice to see Michael be able to throw the ball around and being able to give the ball to Bijan to show that we can do both on the same time. Another superlative, most improved player. And I know, Ryan, I'm going to start with you because you kind of went with somebody I was going to go with, but I have a different person. Most improved player from on the team this year.
Most improved player on the team. I'm going to surprise the hell out of you.
Okay.
I got to say Kyle Pitts and his blocking.
Okay.
Because even though he still does struggle with it, I have to give him his credit because him being around Charlie Warner, you don't have to ask him, hey, what do you do? If you pay attention to it, he takes what we call mental reps, and he's looking at what he's doing. And if you see, he's putting more effort towards blocking than he has done since he's been in Atlanta. So at this point, I got to give that to Pitts because blocking is not for cowards. Tidy can attest to that because he was a running back, and he already knows about that side. You got to have a heartbeat to block. You're not getting the ball. You got to go take somebody out so somebody else can get some success. So I have to say, I think in that situation, I'm going to give mine to Kyle Pitts because he's impressed me with that. And I've been critical of him because of the fact that I thought he played soft since he's been here.
I've heard you say that too. And he has definitely seemed like more of a not only team player from the blocking standpoint, but I don't know, maybe that's translating over to him getting those opportunities too. Maybe that is. Tidy, what you say? Most improved Atlanta Falcon in 2025.
I'm gonna have to go with a guy that has been mentioned already. Ryan mentioned Zach Harrison. I'm gonna go with Zach Harrison. Going into the season, if I remember correctly, he was a 3rd round pick, and I think in 2023, and the few years he's been on the team, it was always kind of like, nice size, look, athleticism. He's a good depth piece, good depth piece. We'll probably move on after this rookie deal, but this year, he just stepped into his own. And I know it was mentioned before, and I hate is he's hurt right now because he was playing very good football, and before the injury, he was leading the team in sacks, and he's just been a force, in the run game, the rushing the passer, doing a lot of little things that this defense really hasn't seen consistently from a guy. And it really has bode well for this defense as a whole. And it's just been a pleasure to watch, his maturation process, because he's been playing some very, very good football, and hopefully he'll get back on the field real soon. So I'm going to say Zach Harrison.
What'd you say, Coach?
I'm not gonna say most improved. Most improved, because I don't remember him being on. I think this is his first year, but I'm gonna say pleasantly surprised. That's Elijah Wilkinson.
Mhm.
When everyone found out that he was gonna be on the line, it was just, oh my goodness, he ain't be able to do nothing. And for the most part, I think outside of the San Francisco game, the man has held up. So kudos to him. Hopefully, he gets a job elsewhere once all our players come back. But to me, he definitely is the most improved or shocking pick of the year for me so far.
It's interesting. Zach Harrison was definitely somebody, when Ryan mentioned him even before, was somebody that I kind of looked at in that same vein as far as most improved. But I'm here to tell y'all, man. I thought Brandon Dorlus was going to be like a throwaway draft pick, like somebody that, hey, they just got, he's on the team, he might fill in or whatever. Y'all realize he is tied with Zach Harrison for the most sacks on this team right now. And not only that, he has 7 tackles for loss, which also leads the team. And I kind of noticed that a little bit. In Minnesota, he had a huge game. The Minnesota game that I went to, and he kept filling in the holes. And I also kind of fell for him a little bit. I don't know if y'all watch on AtlantaFalcons.com. They have the mic'd up things they do every week with the players, where they have a player mic'd up. If you ever get a chance to go look at him mic'd up, man, that was like one of the greatest things going. So yeah, y'all get a chance to see that if you get a chance. I'm gonna ask one more question, because I know one of y'all got to get rolling here in a minute. We've gone through the halfway point. Ironically, you kind of asked the question already, Ryan. Not asked the question, but you mentioned him earlier. But we're at the halfway point of the season. We had one player that we did not extend this year, but is on the on his 5th-year option, and that's brother Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Tidy, at this point, would you extend him at this point? Because if he gets into free agency, there's no way you're going to probably be able to. You're looking at the top 5 tight ends. I was just looking at it. Highest paid is right around 19. Getting down to the top 5, and number 5 is like 14.5, and I think that's Goddard. So that would put Kyle Pitts probably around $15 million. Would you extend Kyle Pitts before the year ends and keep him on the team as things stand right now?
All right, I'm gonna play nice, because I normally would say I'll franchise him and make him do it twice in a row, but I won't do that, because that's not answering the question. Yes, I would. And I'm gonna tell you why. I would. I definitely would. I feel like, how can I say this? I want to explain it this way, but then I know people listening gonna say, well, that's a reason not to re-sign him. But I really think Kyle Pitts, for 80% of his career, has just been a victim of circumstances in Atlanta. He called Matt Ryan on Matt Ryan's last, decent year, and you saw what he could do. Granted, Kyle was the only target, but he still caught the ball when it was thrown to him. So he's showing that he could put up some numbers. And when I say he's a victim of circumstances, is in hindsight, I think most of us would agree if we could do it all over again, we probably don't pick him for if we could do it again, knowing what we know now, but we did. And the reason I say he's a victim of circumstances because Kyle Pitts got drafted 4th overall, and then he went into I don't know what that big carousel is in Atlanta, what it's officially called, but he just went into a quarterback carousel. Heineke, Ritter, Cousins, Uncle Leroy, everybody was getting a shot at quarterback while he was playing. And not only that, and I understand we were building the team at the same time, but this is why I say he was a victim of circumstances. You take another pass catcher at 8. You take your wide receiver 1. So obviously now this guy got to get some targets. And like I say, he's my MVP. So I'm not saying this to say anything bad about Bijan, but when you take a pass catching running back, though he's stealing targets and receptions for Kyle Pitts. That's who's taking a good significant part of his receptions. But with that said, what I've seen from Kyle Pitts this year, I seen a guy who looks like he really took conditioning serious. He looks quicker, he looks more agile, and I'm not saying that I felt like he was ever out of shape or anything, but he looks way more quicker, engaged, way more focused. And like someone mentioned, I think it was Ryan, our coach, but somebody mentioned his blocking. He's doing a better job blocking also. And another component of this is Michael Penix Jr. I want my young quarterback to keep as many guys that he's familiar with and has built up chemistry with as possible. Penix already said, hey, there, man, that's my golfing buddy in the offseason. We go golfing together. And obviously Mooney, he probably won't be here next year. You're going to keep Drake. So your 3-headed monster on offense, if Penix is Troy Aikman, then Kyle needs to be Witten, and Drake London need to be Michael Irvin. You keep that core together. That's your core. And of course, Bijan is your Emmett. And hopefully that core can bring us the same success that the Cowboys got in the 90s. So, yeah, I'm keeping Kyle Pitts. Pay the man.
Right. Now, as I said before, when you got money like that, sometimes you make comments like that you can buy off everybody. So I know that's where Tidy's coming from. Ryan, I know we're all trying to be in Tidy's world, but for you, knowing too, Terry hasn't been, or this organization usually isn't cheap. We're not Jerry Jones and spending all the money, but we will spend money on folks, if we want to get them. What would you say right now, if you had a choice, would you extend Kyle now or just let it ride to the end of the season? Keeping in mind, letting him ride will probably mean he's gone.
Nope. Goodbye. I rather look at, and I mean, he's improved, but my thing is I'm looking at it, and I get what Tidy was saying about him having the quarterback carousel, but here's the thing that we gonna look at in this sense. Brock Bowers had one of those quarterbacks that he had and still put up great numbers as a rook and had a quarterback carousel there, and he's showing out still with a bad team right now. And now we're in a situation where we do have a quarterback that does have a rapport with him, which is true. It sucks, but here's my thing. You still got to pay Bijan. You still got to pay Drake. You're going to have to pay some folks or let some folks go if you decide to bring him here. But I'm not going to pay him top dollar, even though this is a year that stands out outside of his rookie year. It's like, now I'm going to try to get a second for him because I could give you this right now. There are 3 tight ends that I would look at and you could bring in. Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. You have Miles Kesselman out of Tennessee, who's a beast. And then I got to bring up, then you also got to look at the fact that you can still, as Tidy was saying, you do need to have another receiver to come here because Mooney's going to probably be gone because of the inconsistency he's had in his career with his health. So you have to think, hey, do I drop all this money and have a situation like we had with Julio, Matt, and Freeman? or do I go ahead and cut my losses now so I'm not strung up money wise and I can still continue to make moves in places that we need? Because honestly, we need championship depth for this offensive line. We're not a Super Bowl championship caliber team. So at this point, if you want to protect Penix, you can always get him skill players at this point, just being honest. So I let him walk. There's a few people I would talk about letting walk, but we're going to stay on just Pitts. I'd let him walk, and I would try to just build up this depth on my old line, because we can't do anything without championship depth and protecting Michael Penix or whatnot and giving him a chance to throw to these targets that we want to ball out. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Real quick before I get to Dre, just want to give a shout out to everybody coming in. I saw my brother One Time for the Fan is in there. Jack Spade doing this thing on One Time for the Fan with T Will and Carrie doing their normal tri-weekly broadcast that they do.
What's up,
So
Jack?
shout out to him. Always
Thanks,
doing theirs.
Spade.
Robin Layfield is in the house. Appreciate you. Deanna
Robin.
is in the house. Appreciate you coming in as well, and doing their thing. First, before we do all that, let me let Ryan go ahead and sign out. Ryan, I know they do their thing on the Birdcage on Thursday. Ryan, you want to let people know where you are and let them know what time you come on Thursdays, my friend, and game day.
Appreciate it. Before I get to that, please hit that like and subscribe button for Uncle Steve. If you're not already, like and subscribe to his channel, and also Atlanta Bird Gang, and also Coach's Corner. Give these guys love too, because we take time out of our personal lives to make sure we keep you guys entertained, and that helps us have a lifeline when it comes to presenting information and giving you guys the platform that you don't have to worry about getting canceled on like you do when you call into the radio stations. So want to make sure I throw that out there first. Y'all can catch myself and the Magnificent Birdcage crew at 8 p.m. Thursday evenings, every Thursday. And also on game day, we have the pregame meal. Uncle Steve popped up in there. And then we also have the halftime analysis. And then we have the post-game show, the Party Line or Benediction post-game show. So y'all tap in with us every week during the Falcons season and even in the off season. We're still getting it in on Thursdays with also former athletes from different sports with interviews. So please tap in with us, man. We appreciate you guys. And thank y'all for having me on, fellas. Y'all be blessed.
Ryan, you the man. I wish you would have told me, gave me a heads up about that Boston crowd up there, but I had to find that out myself. Boy, that's an interesting, eclectic group of folks up there. I keep it right there. Deanna. Also wanted to shout out my buddy Berto. I was gonna throw this chat in there one more time and try to stay on here for about another 20-30 minutes if y'all don't mind.
I'm good.
And just see what we got on here. Berto was there yesterday for the game, doing his thing as usual. 95 North. I'm trying to get back to his comment right here. Here we go. 95 North Falcons Talk. He does his thing with Bro Talk on Wednesday. They have their show. I think it comes on at 8:00. Excuse me, if I'm not mistaken. Says Zach doesn't call. Y'all help me with the acronym. What are we talking about? MOF plays.
Middle of the field.
Middle of the field plays. Thank you. Where Pitts can thrive one-on-one. He's a mismatch. So circumstances as to what Tidy mentioned is absolutely correct. So shout out to my brother Berto. Berto, if you got a shot to pop your head in here, please go ahead. Jack, I see you in there in the chat. If y'all had a chance to come on in, I'd appreciate you guys coming in and joining the conversation that we have on here. I listen, nobody is insinuating that we're absolutely done for the year and we have to make decisions that we're going to choose another team or whatnot. But I do know you guys are full of football knowledge. We're halfway through the season right now. Some teams have already played 9 games, and we've played 8. The NFC has kind of played out to be, as I said, anybody's conference. I don't think Philly was going to be the I think they were going to be the favorite on paper, but looking at the NFC as we look right now, I'm going to give you guys a quick rapid fire, and I want y'all to say yes or no to these teams making the playoffs. And the reason why I asked, because if you had asked me this in August, I would have had a couple of different answers for you. So when I say playoffs, I mean playoffs, one of the top 7 teams right now. So I'm going to start with the NFC East. Pretty much obvious. Philadelphia, agreed. Yes
Yes.
for the playoffs. What'd you say, Dre?
Yes.
The
Yes.
Dallas Cowboys. Now, before y'all answer, the Dallas Cowboys offense is all of a sudden kind of jumping out at you. They got some needs on defense. Trade deadline tomorrow. They are 3-4-1 right now, which is a half step above the Falcons. Is Dallas a potential playoff team for this year?
I
Tidy?
would say no.
No. I'm gonna say no
No.
too.
Deanna says no as well in the chat. Boy, when you could score points, and I know people are going to point to Cincinnati. We'll get to them in a minute. When you can score points, man, I just think you just got a chance. I'm going to put them on the back burner and say no for the minute. I don't think Washington is going to make it, and man, just hate what happened to Jaden Daniels yesterday. That was rough. The Giants are not going to be looking at anything as well with the young Jackson Dart let's see next year. So here's really the division I was more talking about, the NFC North. So all these teams have at least 4 wins, and the top team has 5. So we'll start the NFC North. Legitimate after yesterday's game because they lost to Carolina too. The Green Bay Packers, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Would
but
you
not
say?
far.
All right. The Detroit Lions.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Here's one maybe people weren't expecting. The Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Yes. Wild card. Yes.
Wild card. Okay. All right. They're only a half game out of first place. I mean, and I just didn't see the Caleb Williams looking every bit of the first round pick right now. And Minnesota Vikings, they're the only 500 team in the division.
No.
Yeah, I might have to lean on those as well.
All right. We got somebody that just came in, our brother Jack Spade from One Time on the Fan. Appreciate you joining us, brother. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all having a great night, man. Great panel you had up here earlier. I was listening at work and got a chance to step away to talk some Falcons with y'all. Tidy, what's up? Coach, what's up? Steve, what up, man?
Jack, what's going on?
Cooling, brother.
Nothing much, man. Nothing much at all. Like I said, just going over a couple of teams. I'm gonna get back to a couple of questions with you in 1 second. So what we doing right now, Jack, and you join right in. I'm giving a team. We're giving a yes or no on right now as far as them making the playoffs. There's been a unanimous vote for Philadelphia, unanimous vote for Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago. So I'm assuming Philly and Green Bay, or Detroit, I don't know which one, are probably going to be the division winners. So we already have 2 of the 3 wild card teams taken up, possibly.
Yeah, I heard that. Dallas, I said no. Philly would be a yes for me. Green Bay is a yes for me.
What about Detroit
Detroit's a yes for me, too.
and Chicago?
That's a wild card right there. That's the tough part. That's the tough. Right now, what are they, 5-4, 5-3 or something?
5-3.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to be like that this year, but sometimes those circumstances play out in your favor. It's not happening for the Falcons right now, but it's happening for the Bears. So I got to say yes at this point.
and I'm going to stick with winning teams just to make it quick for us. The NFC South at this moment, Tampa Bay 6-2. Coach,
Tampa Bay. Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah, they'll make that.
would you say, Tidy?
Yes.
Jack?
Tampa Bay has a very easy schedule coming up. I know it's an any given Sunday type of thing, but they play Carolina twice, play the Saints twice. I think that they're going to go ahead and get that division. So yeah, it's probably them.
Okay. The next team I'm going to mention is obviously a team that we probably laughed at the beginning of the season. However, right now, after a 30-0 loss, the Carolina Panthers are right now at 5-3. And before I get your answer, this is their remaining schedule. Saints at home. They have a bye this week. Saints at home. They play us here. They go to Frisco. The Rams go to Carolina. They play at New Orleans. At New Orleans, they play the Buccaneers 2 of the last 3 games, and sandwiched in between that is the Seahawks. So, at the moment, Carolina Panthers, in or out playoffs?
No.
I'm going to agree with Tidy on the no.
No.
If they somehow beat the 49ers or the Rams, I would be super surprised about that. But I'm going to say no right now for them. I hate Little Brother, man. Little Brother, I don't know how they're so surprisingly decent this year, but Little Brother beat us 30-0, man.
I see y'all coming in down
And
here. I
that's-
see Deanna Panthers say no. Call says, I can't see a team with bad coaching making the playoffs. Michael says no as well. So, yeah, what were you saying, Jack? I apologize.
If they surprisingly beat the Rams or the 49ers or even the Seahawks, I'd be so surprised. That Green Bay win had me like, I can't believe this is happening. But Green Bay did play pretty bad. But it's a no for me with Carolina.
What'd you say, Dre?
I said it's a no for me as well.
No.
They would need some serious. I think they would need some serious help just to get in the wild card. So no.
So, yeah, I just don't. You want to keep talking about frauds and fraudulent teams, but then I kind of look and, I can't say anything about us right now, but winning is the scoreboard right now. So at this moment, 5-4, and they have beat Green Bay. I don't know. It's tough. I would say no at the moment too because of the next division I'm getting ready to mention, but it's tough. The NFC West has 3 teams already with 6 wins, folks. One of them is not going to make it. So keep in mind, y'all already put Detroit and Chicago in coach and tight end. I think Jack said you were on the fence on that one for Chicago.
For Chicago, yeah, but that NFC West, I would give it more to Seattle or the Rams. That division is a little bit better than that NFC North.
So again, let's go here then with the NFC West. First, at this point, who wins the NFC West for the 3 of y'all? Seattle, Rams, or 49ers? I'll start with Dre.
Oof. This is
I didn't know
tough
homework was going to be on here, do you?
one. Yeah. But, this is a tough one because Seattle is solely predicated on Donald showing up. But then the 49ers, I don't know, man. Jeez, that's a hard one. I'm gonna go with I guess I have to go. Although he shafted us, I guess I have to go with what's his name? 49.
Shanahan. Yeah, we Atlanta shade Shanahan all the time, and I tell people I would take him over any coach we've had over the last 3 reigns right now. To say as much as we do. What'd you say, Tidy? Who wins the division?
I'm gonna go with the Rams. I love the type of football that Matthew Stafford is playing right now, and if you undecided, just go with the team with the best quarterback. It's my thing. So I'm gonna say the Rams.
Rams for you. You also Michael says the Rams as well. Deanna says she doesn't think Seattle's legit. She does think the Rams win the division. Would you say, Jack? NFC West division winner.
I'm with Tidy, man. My homeboy's a big Rams fan. He keeps calling Matthew Stafford the LeBron James of football. This guy's playing at an age that I wouldn't expect to see Matthew Stafford doing this, but that Rams team just Sean McVay, man. Matthew Stafford continues to get it done. I have to go with the Rams on this one.
You know, obviously this is going to sort itself off because they're going to beat each other up later on this year a couple of times. I'm going to give you these numbers real quick, and y'all tell me who this is. 152 completions, 216 attempts, 70% complete percentage, 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a rating of 116. Who is this?
Is that Sam?
That's
Matt
Sam
Jones?
Darnold.
Sam Darnold?
That's
Damn.
Sam Darnold. And I'm going to tell you, I was one of the first ones to say, oh, man, he had Justin Jefferson. He had Hockenson. He had Addison. He had all these weapons up in Minnesota. And I was like, well, Seattle's going to get a cheaper version. Well, they got him for cheap when you think about it. I think he's only making 30-something million for what's supposed to be a decently starting quarterback. And he has gone on and he's turning Smith and Jimbo to a really good wide receiver.
Yes.
948 yards already for him. He's out of that Ohio State world of wide receivers, and I like Seattle, man.
I kind of lagged out there. Who was it? Was it Sam?
That was Sam Darnold. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. Yeah. And I just right now their defense is opportunistic. Sam is throwing it around. Cooper Kupp, when he comes back, that's going to be a second person that he can throw to. Their running game, they got a nice little switch with Walker and Charbonneau doing their thing, man. Seattle, wow. They're somebody that I don't know if I'm ready to call them Super Bowl contenders, but in the West, I think they're a team that and look, they've won, if I'm not mistaken, is it 10 straight games on the road?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
10 straight. Yeah. From like they haven't lost a road game this year, and the winning streak goes back to last year. So Seattle, who's traditionally much better up in Seattle, are doing their thing. 6-2.
And what do you know? They come to Atlanta in a couple weeks too.
I know.
Gracious.
Yeah. What looked like a what at beginning looked like a soft pedaling schedule. Now all of a sudden, Colts, Rams, Seahawks. I mean, got the Bucks one more time. Whew. But you got to play the teams. You got to play them. Got to play them.
Remember a couple years ago when we had the Beige Bandit at our quarterback when we went up there to Arizona and people was like, oh, that's a 1-12 team. That's a 1-13 team. We can beat the Cardinals. Kyler Murray came back and Trey McBride just put Richie Grant in a blender. That's a trap game coming up for the Falcons, that Arizona game, man. That's why I'm just kind of disappointed with the Falcons so far this year because you still got to play a bunch of really good teams coming up. And they matched up well against the Patriots. I mean, they had a lot of mistakes. But you have to beat Seattle and the Rams to really show that you want to make the playoffs if you go on a run. And those two teams are pretty decent right now.
They are. They are. Shout out to our brother Fandemic in the house. What's going on, brother? Thank you for coming in. Says Seattle is winning, but it's Sam Darnold. Y'all reminds me of Kirk Cousins when he started out. I mean, maybe he's a regular season bandit. I don't know, but it was look. we're only 3 years removed from Sam Darnold kind of being a has-been, right?
Yeah.
But he was lost up there in the Jets, and it sounds a lot like the Baker Mayfield story.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it, I'm not trying to sit here and make him Tom Brady or Mahomes, but it's a good story.
Baker Mayfield, Sam
Uh,
Darnold, Mac Jones. Like this is the next second.
Absolutely. You either which is one of the reasons pivoting back to the Falcons. While I'm hoping people have patience with the Michael Penixes of the world, because what you don't want to do is give up too quick. I look at the Trey Lance. I know that was a lot of injury. The Trey Lance, the Zach Wilsons, those folks didn't get their chances. I think Justin Fields out of that draft class was really the only I guess Trevor were really the only ones that got a legitimate chance. I know Matt Jones finally got his shot in New England, but that didn't last long. They had to bring in Cam Newton to kind of fill in some space in between. So we have to be, in my opinion, hopefully folks will realize it's not going to be perfect with Michael for the rest of the year. You just have to kind of hang on a little bit. Just hang on real quick. So go ahead.
Not even just him, just the team as a whole. Like all of our what they call position pieces are 5 years and younger in the league. Like we are an extremely young team, so we're going. And that's the chief pick. Our offense is going to look horrible. The team as a whole is going to look horrible, which is to be expected with an extremely young team. I think what magnifies it is the lack in coaching that just piles on top of it and makes it look even worse. But again, I had no expectations for this year. I knew we were going to be, a struggling team because we're extremely young. But the coaching has to help us as well.
Yeah, coaching has to help. My last question for you guys, and I have listened to everything y'all said, so y'all might be saying y'all didn't hear what I said earlier, but I have to ask, and also knowing that I in no way take joy in changing just for the sake of changing in the middle of the year. If we go down in Berlin and we're 3-6, does Raheem survive the trip back to Atlanta? And I'm going to take whatever time you need. I'm going to start with you, Jack. I'm going to go to coach and go to
That's tough. I kind of think he does. Seeing the way he's Arthur Blank's buddy. It's tough because Falcon fans, they want to win now, and it kind of brings up my question I was going to ask a couple minutes ago to Tidy and to the rest of y'all. This Falcons fan base, I love it. I love everybody in this fan base, man, because we're not like the Bills fan base, we're not like the Chiefs fan base, but if we're not going to get the win on the field, we're going to be petty on social media. But I had to ask, man, even with Raheem, if he doesn't continue as the head coach, this fan base doesn't have time to develop quarterbacks. And it's like they don't want to sit around and wait for Penix to be good year 3 or 4. So I'm going to say yes for Raheem that he does make the trip back. I mean, he can catch the Spirit or the Frontier flight back. It's going to be a longer flight. But Tidy, man, you're built with a bunch of knowledge in this area. Same for you, Uncle Steve, and Coach too as well. If Penix doesn't have a good year next year, do fans want to see Penix again after that? Because they don't have time for this. I see how they're talking on social media. We want to win now. And I know some people like, hey, we got to develop this guy. And look at Peyton Manning when he started out. And, we were spoiled with Matt Ryan. And that's my question to you guys after the whole Raheem question. Do fans want to see Penix here next year if he can't get the job done. Because I'm all for developing quarterbacks and getting right on the right level of coaching with the people around him. But this fan base doesn't have time to go with 9 years, 10 years of drought. We don't want that. Like, Chatty, do you think Penix, if he has a start like this, you see him here long term as a franchise quarterback?
If he has what? I missed a certain part of the question.
Kind of like a similar start next year to how he's having this year, like going out 3-5, 3-6. Do you see Penix as the franchise quarterback going forward?
I do. I think he has the tools that you need to be a franchise quarterback. Whether I guess my point of contention is he going to be a pretty good franchise quarterback, or he going to be, hey man, great borderline great franchise quarterback? That's kind of where I see him at. I think he's going to put it together. I was saying to Steve earlier, his last 4 games, man, he has some pretty impressive numbers. He has the talent. There are some certain things about his game, like with any first-year starter, he needs to fix. He needs to tweak. Berto mentioned middle of the field. Unpopular opinion. In my opinion, that's not all on Zach Robinson. Some of that is on the quarterback, and that's okay. He's a first-year starter. That's perfectly fine. When he's pressured, no, there's not a quarterback in the world that enjoy. Hey, I love pressure. No, but as he gets older, he'll and more experience in the NFL, he'll learn how to deal with it a lot better. And some of your question too, Jack, I think you were alluding to.
How his fan base is. You go to a 3-5 start next year, or go 500 at the half. They're going to sit there and say, "Man, we trying to make the playoffs. We trying to win the division. We trying to do all this." I see what they're saying on media now. Right. I mean, hell, they're talking about afraid of Falcon. They want afraid of Falcon up out of there. They don't think like
right.
We were blessed with Matt Ryan, man. You know how it is with Matt when he got over here in Atlanta. And is this fan base ready to sit there and watch the guy be developed for the next 2 to 3 years?
I'll answer it like this. It's kind of like the society that we see in 2025. There's going to be a significant segment of the fan base that's going to be willing to be patient. And they're going to express verbally, I'm patient, give us some time. There's going to be another significant section, a portion of the fan base that's going to say they're not going to be patient. They're going to tell you he's garbage, he's trash. Why did we draft him 10? So it really just boils down to what side of that split in the middle fan base you going to choose, or you going to listen to as a Falcons fan. And all of y'all are longtime Falcons fans, so I'm sure y'all know the divide. That's my answer.
Good answer, Teddy, man. Respect that.
What'd you say, Dre?
So as far as I'm gonna answer both questions. As far as Raheem goes, I think Arthur Blake knows that he owns a team in Atlanta, and I think he knows this day and age the firestorm that he would get if he fired Raheem 1.5 years into his contract, and he didn't do the other coaches. Right? We all pretty smart here. We can sort of read what I'm saying. I don't think that he wants to go down that road, and I don't blame him, because even though it has to do with football, they will take it somewhere else. So I think Raheem survives, like I said, at least until next year. As far as Penix goes, I know for at least 3 of us, I'm sorry, my guy, I'm not quite sure how old you are, but I know me, Cotty, and are at least in our 40s or older. So we're from the school of, when you had to write a book report, you had to go to the library. Unless you were rich, you had to go to the library and get the Encyclopedia Britannica. Unless you were rich, somehow you had it in your home, but we didn't have that type of money. You had to go to the library to research using the Encyclopedia Britannica, to research using so readily available that people no longer have patience. I have been a stark critic of Penix for other reasons, but I recognize that the guy has talent. There are definitely things that he absolutely has to get better at. That don't even coincide with coaches. That really just coincides with how much preparation he wants to give this game, how good he wants to be. Like if he wants to be considered the greatest, he'll work on these things. Um, so I think you have to, just like with Raheem, you got to give them both time. Now, if this year and then going into next year, I'm still seeing the same issues which we've seen in college, which was, his inability to have touch, um, and how skittish he gets with pressure. Then we can have another, have another conversation. But I think you at least need to give him this year and majority of next year because he is a very doubtingly experienced player. I think the main thing is, we can't be we can't have this mindset of instant gratification. Nothing in life that is worth anything is easy. It takes hard work. It takes time. I've been a Falcons fan since '89. I remember the years of us being utterly trash, like just complete hot garbage. As my guy Mark says all the time. I remember we were straight cheeks. So
That line for him today.
I know I heard we had so spoiled from the Matt Ryan years of us constantly winning, even though we didn't win the Super Bowl, but we were constantly winning. That most of us, not most of us, a lot of us have forgotten about the horrible year. So I just think it takes time. You got to give them time to really. I think at least his rookie contract, and you got to give him the time to show you if he can rise up to be big or if you need to move on.
It's I have faith in Penix's. Penix is coming into this situation. I think it was the greatest thing for him to kind of sit back and watch Kirk in a certain way. I wish it was more of a quarterback that had his skill set, had a little bit more of his abilities at the beginning, but at least to try to learn how to be a quarterback in the NFL. I say this again, and Tidy helped me out a whole lot before he even came on air, that the unfairness that you get because of coaches' mention of instant gratification. Matt Ryan, we gave Matt Ryan 2.5, 3 years before people really started to say, okay, what is Matt really adding to the team? Matt had the best of everything, and somebody else even put it in the chat where you had Turner, you had who was the tight end for that team at the time before Tony came in? Who's
That's a good
that 08
question.
team?
Uh,
The 08 team.
it was a Warlow,
It
wasn't
keeps
it?
slipping.
Later.
No, that's defense. I can't.
Wow.
Somebody in the chat will know. But he had a decent defense. Loyal Malloy had come over, kind of helped solidify. We still had a couple of defensive tackles that was still good. We had a O line that was just kind of blending in. Had Mud Duck at his prime, and a couple of the folks coming, and it made the maturation of Matt Ryan not have to push on the pedal that much, if that makes sense to what I'm saying. You didn't have to push down. I don't think Algie was still here at that time, Deanna. I don't think he was.
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah,
He never played
gone.
with Matt.
Yeah, I don't think he played with Matt, because if he played with Matt, we probably wouldn't have gotten Tony G the next year. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. But I just feel like I wish we had the same patience we gave Matt Because contrary to belief, he wasn't the great. I don't even think was his percentage 60% that first year.
It was like 61% the first year, then it went down to 58 the second year.
Right. And really that's 3 out of 4 to get to that 9 and 7. And then the big celebration about the first back-to-back winning seasons going in. I'm saying all that to say I wish the fan base, going back to what Jack was first alluding to, I wish the fan base. Okay, Santiago was still here.
It wasn't Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, Tony came in 9.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tani, yeah, Peel. I think Peel was there.
yeah, Peel was there and Ben Hartsock, according to Paul.
Ben Hartsock.
Austin
I
Hooper
think he
eventually
was
came on
come from
later on.
Houston,
Yeah.
right? He came from Houston, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Tennessee, whatever they were at the time, whether it was Houston or Tennessee. Yeah, I think Gonzalez came in 09. If
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
no, you're right. Gonzalez came in 09. That's when they started to build more around Matt Ryan.
right, I thought so, but I could be wrong. But thank you, Dwayne. Thanks for trying to fill in the blank. So my overall thing, I'm saying, alluding back to what Jack was talking about, I think we just have to have some patience. I think for Penix, you're gonna see some mistakes. You're gonna see some errors. Right now, they're bigger because we're losing. When we were 3-2, Penix is basically doing the same stuff he was doing in the first 3 of the 5 wins that he's doing these last 2 games. Is it drastically different what he's doing, y'all?
Right.
I don't think it is.
No.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I just feel like let's let it play out a year. And for those great defenders of the Beige Bandit,
I love that spin.
you could see ahead of time that talent level wasn't what it was. He was a journeyman when he first got drafted. He to me, he was a 3rd round pick. Nobody's looking to a 3rd round pick to lead your franchise.
Right.
Nobody. So I just wish the fan base would exercise a little bit of patience when it comes to Penix. I really feel like Jack, I don't think people are gonna want to cut bait that quickly. In my opinion, the numbers Tidy put up for the last 4 games, we're all still concentrating on Carolina. But since Carolina, he's only given it up once.
Right.
So I just want the rest of the fan base to have just hold tight for a minute. Because if worst case, okay, he missed 1 game. This was game 8. 7 games. So yesterday was his legitimate 10th start. 10th start. So I don't know. I don't know. Deanna says, there are fans I know personally who never liked Matt. I would be the only sometimes at watch parties supporting Matt. You're going to have some people who will not want to give him time. That's true. Oh, a lot of people didn't like Matt. But I also think, in fairness, Deanna, a lot of people didn't want Matt because they felt like they turned their back on Mike Vick.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm about to
Oh, yeah.
forget his name. What Matt came into, and thank you, pandemic. What Matt came into was he was coming into a culture that had said, "Oh, we embrace Mike." Sorry to all the Peter folks out there, but I don't care German dog or Chihuahua or whatever it was. We still want our Mike Vick back. There were a lot of people that thought he was turned down. Nah, Antoine, Austin Hooper was that was wave. That was
late. That's
wave.
Super Bowl era.
He was drafted that year, right? When he
In 08?
for 16? No, 16.
No,
No, I was just saying the Super Bowl. I was agreeing with you, Tidy. I said,
okay.
Wasn't he drafted the Super Bowl year?
The
It
year
was
before.
15 or 16. I think it might have been 15. Or
Might be
16.
15. Okay, my apologies. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was 16. But if you remember what Matt came into Jack, dude, this fan base was still mad. And that's when they were really mad at Arthur Blank. How dare you not have that man's back? How dare you? And you going to bring in Philly's own Boston College interception throwing quarterback and not get what was big boy from LSU?
Glenn Dorsey.
Glenn Dorsey. How dare you not get him and wait for Mike to get out of jail? He had to deal with that on top of everything else. I'm gonna bring my boy in here, man. I know I said I was gonna close in, but I'll never slam the door unless it's a singing contest on Big Low Country Sports coming into the chat with us. What's going on, Big Low?
Hey man, what's going on, Uncle Steve? Hey, I did want to say before I started talking, hey Jack, they said it's not supposed to rain tomorrow, so you can come and pick those leaves up tomorrow whenever you get a chance.
Wow.
It's funny, man. I looked on the security camera. I didn't see you were there, but you must be on break. It's all right.
How y'all gentlemen doing this evening?
What's up, Lo?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. So,
Thanks, Steve froze.
uh-oh.
Hurry up, country, sing.
Yeah, just to put that on say real quick. I think that's I think it it has,
Breaking up, Coach.
oh my bad. What about now? My better?
Yeah, you good.
Still breaking up?
Nah, you
Okay.
good. Though.
I think Penix is going to be a product of the city he is the quarterback for, because you had Dick, which set the city on fire. Because finally you have a quarterback that was balling, that is just a show to see and look like us. Get into a situation, then you probably have the the whitest snowflake possible come in right after him. And I think that kind of split the fan base. I know a lot of the times that's what I see comment. That's what the comments allude to. And now to come back to one that looks like us and Michael Penix, I think that is going to be some of what he runs into with not giving him enough time. Because you're going to have a significant portion of the fan base, again, which it shouldn't matter because talent is talent, but I think that also will play a part in how much grace people give him as well.
Yeah, I agree.
What you're saying?
It's sad, but that's kind of reality. I agree. I think when ESPN did the Mike Vick 30 for 30, I'm assuming that all you guys watched it. I think they painted the best picture of what was going on in Atlanta and also within this fan base at that point in time. They painted that picture so perfectly, in my opinion. There you go.
See, it's so interesting, Tidy, that my whole audio and video was going well until Big Low Country comes onto the thing.
I was going to say, as soon as you mentioned Desmond Ritter.
I noticed that, Steve.
It was Desmond Ritter. That's what it was.
I wasn't Desi Dez.
As soon as you hit that, I love Desmond. That's when everything switched up on you.
That's what happened. I apologize, Tidy, and I apologize stepping right into the conversation. Where were you, Tidy? I apologize.
Oh no, you totally fine. I was just responding to Coach. So go ahead. We were just filling up, airtime.
And appreciate you again. Sorry for that. So, Lo, we were discussing something that you and I kind of discussing before, and I was making the parallel talking about the fan base having to wait for Matt Ryan to come around, and why isn't the same grace extended to Michael Penix as he goes through the masteration of being NFL quarterback, and in a year that I actually don't think he's been totally garbage. I think he's
No,
been okay.
yeah.
What's why do you think we have a fan base that's just not, that just wants it so bad? Is that because of the losing for 7 straight years or what?
Because we had Matt Ryan before.
Mm.
Because Matt Ryan came and, you know, he was in a perfect situation and took us to the playoffs, and we had 2 straight winning seasons, and he won MVP and took us to the Super Bowl. And moving forward, it's like if you got your coach telling you that this is the most skilled offense that you've had since 2016. So, I mean, everybody's looking around and, whenever you get mad, and it's one of the stages of grief, the anger part, you just start blaming everybody.
Mm. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what people have been saying. I think Raheem, I think Raheem's woes as a head coach and Michael Penix trying to be a top flight quarterback, in my opinion, are 2 separate issues. I do feel like even if you bring somebody in, I think you can bring somebody else in, and who knows, they might take the ball. What we said, we talk about Matt Ryan all the time. How many coordinators he have his first 5 years? Like 3, 4? Because I know Malarkey, Cutter, wasn't it somebody before Callahan? I mean, before Shanahan?
Malarkey,
Nah, that was it.
I think
So
that's
just
it. His
Malarkey
first
and Cutter,
5
That was
years.
it. But
Okay,
see,
I'm sorry.
but see, the thing is, honestly, that Malarkey set Matt Ryan up to be the best version of himself. Malarkey had a lot of two route concepts with, with the outlet guy. We ran the ball. You only had to throw the ball 19 times a game. If Matt threw the ball 27 times, we were like, hold on now, y'all need to chill out. But he set Matt Ryan up to be the best version of himself that he could. And that's just not what we're getting right now.
But okay, but so in your opinion, you trying to tell me Matt Ryan was a better version of what Michael Penix is right now? Is that what you're trying to sell me?
No, I'm not saying that Matt Ryan's a better version of Michael Penix, but Matt Ryan won he won games. And
yeah, he won games, but not. But do you think
it wasn't because of him?
Yeah, that's okay. So that's my point. I guess I'm just trying to say it bothers me to see us giving up on Michael Penix so quick. It really
I'm
bothers me.
not.
I'm definitely not. Yeah, I'm looking at that. Like Country said, when people start getting upset and they start pointing the finger and placing blame, they're going after Arthur Blank, they're going after Rich McKay, they're going after Raheem, they're going after Zach Robinson. Eventually, it's going to go after the quarterback too.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's why I'm kind of looking at it like, if you continue to be on this path of we don't get 7 wins this year, we don't get to the playoffs this year, and you start off next year, you got the Ravens, you got the Steelers, you got the Browns, you got the Bengals, you got the Green Bay Packers, you got the NFC North again. If you have a rough start with Penix, does this fan base start looking at it saying, well, we got a new coach and we got a new OC, but the quarterback's still not getting the job done? I know how this fan base is real petty, and they're starting from the top and they're just working their way down of just going after players. I mean, I don't want Penix to be in that realm, but if you don't win and you get a 9th season consecutive of not winning, people are going to start really calling out everybody.
Absolutely.
And see, this is really why it's so polarizing and unfortunate that the Kirk Cousins thing didn't work. Because if Kirk could have been the quarterback that we envisioned him to be,
right,
you go to the playoffs last year. Now the fan base, okay, we're satisfied. Hey, we done got the monkey off our back. Now we're going to year 2 with Kirk. And we all realize, okay, this gonna be Kirk last year in Atlanta unless he win the Super Bowl. Yeah, we'll bring you back and hold Michael Penix off another year. But when the Kirk Cousins situation, when he fell off the cliff, the team started spiraling down. Michael Penix, now you rush into action. And, of course, you're always supposed to be ready as a quarterback, but was he really ready? Rushing to action. And now, he's the full-time starter. And, the fans, it's like if y'all ever watch National Geographic, man, that lion catch that gazelle. Never blood. That's what the fan base said. Never blood.
But Tidy, if you think about it, let's keep it a book.
Right.
And to a certain extent, the worst thing that could have happened to Michael Penix was that game in DC last year. Because
in what way?
Well, I feel like it. I feel like it reset the expectations because we were just hoping that he would come in and be serviceable. We knew that he was a young quarterback, but whenever he came in and made that throw on fourth and goal, man, let's be honest, man. A lot of people got naked. A lot of people got locked up that night for indecent exposure.
Well, but he also, but Low, in fairness, he also followed that up with a pretty good showing against Carolina, and to date, probably his greatest in game. I might put this New England game as number 2 right now, as far as that's concerned. So, that might be. I don't know. Do me a favor, real quick, Lo. Got a super chat in here from Fandemic, man. Appreciate you, brother, coming in on this star-studded panel that we had here. Can you read it, or are you sitting down?
So I'm actually cooking right now.
So
I can, if somebody else can read it for me, I can do
the. So here's the thing, and I want to just make it clear. So you decided to come into this panel. What are you cooking, my friend?
I'm cooking chicken bob.
Okay, so see, we don't even know what that is. So
chicken and yellow rice.
So again, so not only do you cook a meal that most black people don't eat, then you go try to come in here and you ain't even doing me a favor of doing. So you know what? I'm gonna do this myself. I'm gonna do this. Pandemic, we love you, appreciate you, brother. He says, I think if we were a winning organization, no one would care who's at the helm. Most of us is just tired. He went roots on us. It's just tired, boss, of losing on this thing. So that's that. I would have gave you the super chat, but as most of us know, ain't nobody coming to see what Big Low is doing. So yeah.
Man, I just couldn't read it. I was still gonna do the Superman. Y'all see how you do me, man?
And tell me,
I've been trying to tell people I'm Steve a bully, bro. Like, man.
Country, quick question for you, Country. What time is that going to be finished? Because the guests arrive at 9.
See what I'm saying?
Sorry,
can I say something real quick?
Of course you can.
So for the other, well, I can't even claim that crowd. So, well, for me, I'm gonna just speak for me. For me, my issue is with people who are already crowning him. So I understand that Penix is a young, inexperienced quarterback. He's going to need time. I've been preaching that. I think most rational football people have been preaching that. I think for whatever reason, it's either you're willing to give him time or you're crowning him, the quarterback of the future. And I just have a problem with that. I don't, me personally, as of yet, I still don't know if he's the quarterback of the future because I see a lot of issues that will, unless corrected, would definitely stop him from being not only the quarterback of the future, but will make him a potential lifelong backup. The man can throw the ball. He's great at throwing the ball, but the issues I see, I don't know if it's Penix derivative or it's OC issue. You know what I mean? Like it's hard for me it's hard to narrow down. Is what I'm seeing on the field the issue of pitting, or what I'm seeing on the field the issue of OC? And again, as someone who is yet to say that he will be the quarterback of the future for the Atlanta Falcons, I do see some of the things that were pros and cons from him in college that have followed him over to the NFL. Now, normally with time, uh, playing, uh, being coached up, those issues will sort of start to diminish, uh, if they are possible, because some issues are just, I mean, they're so ingrained that you really, it will take a long time to get rid of them. So that's my point, my problem, and it's like, it, if you say it, which was the same thing about Matt Ryan, if you say, hey, you know, I see X, Y, Z, people get up in arms because you're pointing out things that are obvious. Like Lowe said that the game in Washington, me and Tidy have been saying over and over and over. Everyone blames Raheem Morris, for that loss, yada yada yada. But if Penix had just made that easy 5 yard pass, then none of that would have been the issue, But you can't say that because people lose their other level of mind. And it's like,
Right.
whoa, like I'm not knocking him, but you should always be able to speak truth, and it just be that, just truth. Like you could say, hey, he needs to play better without saying he sucks. Like me
Exactly.
saying
Ain't nobody perfect.
Right. Right.
me saying he needs to do better does not equate to me saying he sucks and he can't play. No, I'm saying he needs to do better. If he wants to be the Falcons' long-term quarterback, there are things that he needs to fix to get better. And for me, the biggest knock I have on Penix, the biggest knock is his touch issues.
Yeah,
That that
overthrows, boy.
yeah, that to me, and I don't know if, because again we had Kirk and Kirk didn't do it, so I don't know if the not thrown in the middle of the field is a derivative of Penix because they're scared if because anybody who knows football, you throw a bullet in the middle of the field, it hits somebody's hands, that ball is going to fly sky high, and no telling what happens.
Yeah,
So
feels real.
I don't know if they're scared to go in the middle of the field because of that, or it's just bad offensive coordinator. Like it's so hard to gauge where he is as a player when you have this horrible of offensive coordinator. So again, for at least for me, for those who say, hold on, let's not crown him yet, let's see what's going on. People stop taking that as we're saying he sucks. Me personally, I just need to see more. It's hard to see more because of what we have in the coaches room. So
Right, right, and I totally agree. And I'm all for Team Penix. I want to see the Falcons do well with this guy going forward. This is no comparison, but I'm looking at like Bo Nix. Like, is it Bo Nix that just has what it takes to be, that starting quarterback in this league? Is it his offensive coordinator that's coaching up Bo Nix? Is it Sean Payton? Because the Broncos' offense, compared to our offense, I think our offense is way better on paper and on the field. But for some reason, Bo Nix and the Broncos' offense continues to escape with these wins. Like, looking at the Denver Broncos, like how does it work for them over there, Tidy? How does it work for them, Steve? Because I'm looking at Bo Nix compared to Michael Penix coming out of college, and I was like, Penix was a way better quarterback. But how is this happening to where we're in the dark side of the win loss battle, and Bo Nix and the Broncos are on the brighter side of the win loss battle? Like, how is that possible?
Who's Bo Nix?
Jack,
You see
Who's
your
Bo
you
Nix
see
Jack,
your
coaching?
Jack,
answer, right?
if I may, let me address Bo Nix because
Yeah.
trust me, I've
Go
dealt
ahead.
with the Bo Nix
Go ahead.
question plenty of times, so I'm well versed in this question. Not saying anything bad about Bo Nix at all. I think he's a pretty good, borderline great young quarterback. We're just grouping young quarterbacks. But the thing with Bo Nix, and this all correlates to what we're talking about now, giving Michael Penix enough time. People don't realize the first 9 games of Bo Nix's career in the NFL, he had 8 total passing touchdowns. The first 9 games,
Yeah.
he had 8 total touchdowns, and he had 6 interceptions.
Right.
Bo Nix did not throw his very first touchdown pass until his 4th game of his NFL career. And as we all know, as Falcons fans, he has one of the better offensive minds in the NFL, teaching him the ins and the outs. And midway point through the season, he started taking off and playing, better football. But people don't realize that Bo Nix just didn't come out the gate Speedy Gonzalez. There was a process with Bo Nix to it. He had a hell of a first year,
Right.
and they're still doing good as well. The point, or I guess my final thing I'm trying to say is we don't have a Sean Payton over here, obviously. I really wish we did,
He would never coach for the Falcons.
Right. I wish we did. I guess our version of Sean Payton is now, in the Bay Area on the West Coast, but that's my thing with Bo Nix. It took him a little minute too before he hit his stride.
You said that like you've had a lot of conversation about Bo Nix before, like you was ready to go on that one.
I was ready, man. I've had this
I know
conversation.
he was. I could see it in his eyes. His eyes twinkled when he said Bo Nix. Just like somebody, like I don't care where you are in Atlanta, I swear, you say the words Matt Ryan, all of a sudden, here come a sofa. Here come a sofa. Here comes some grizzly looks. Here come a old, that fermentation, that smell coming. And here comes from the eye test, ready to pounce on anything anti-Matt Ryan. I didn't even dream, but I said, dang, we mentioned it too loud. Just like those, your listening devices hear what you're saying.
On your phone.
The great John Harris is in the building. What's up, John?
What's up, John?
What's up, John?
Was that a fair introduction?
They used to call that damning with faint praise.
Whoop.
Wow.
No, and I say this.
I mean, some people wax their cars with real turtle wax. Other folks just get some Vaseline and just slather it all over the car. Oh, it's ready, boss.
Oh, Jack used turtle wax. I should check him out sometime. He does a great job.
Boy, I tell you.
So before I let you have it, John, and I'm gonna let you have it. I don't know how much you've been listening to leading this into this. The only thing I just want to play devil's advocate a little bit with you, Coach. Everything you said makes sense. And to your point, I think the critique of your critique, in other words, when you say, no, he should have hit him at this point and that point, and everybody tries to jump on you and defend you, that's because I think we're looking for – everybody's just so anxious to win and anxious to make their own heroes. See, Desmond – and that people want to do that, Coach. It's not you. You're pointing out the obvious. You're pointing out things that are correct. You're pointing out things from your point of view, which is, I must admit, probably more advanced than the average fan. I think my only other just pause with what you were saying is, again, going back to the I'm trying to think, was that Tidy or who with the instant gratification? I feel like we have come across, and now Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Say what we want to say about Geno Smith now, but a couple of years ago, Geno Smith. Sometimes you are put in the wrong situation, and you might have been drafted at the wrong time by the wrong coach. Yep. And then you turn around and you get with the right coach, Geno with Seattle, Baker with initially Liam from Jacksonville, Darnold getting with O'Donnell, and that's his name, right? In Vikings, getting with him. So certain situations you get, I don't know what you want to say, lucky. and you get a chance for somebody to bring that out in you. Going back again to our hero, Matt Ryan. Matt was serviceable the first 3 years. He didn't lose a lot of games, but he had a little help in winning. But the first thing they were talking about was our boys, Mike Smith. We need explosiveness. We need whatever. And you finally got Kyle Shanahan. Now, if y'all gonna sit here and lie to me and tell me that y'all didn't see a difference after 2015 in what Matt Ryan could be after somebody forced him, and I think my buddy is about to speak on that, by having a quarterbacks coach, sending him to off-season school to learn how to be a quarterback. That's what happened with Matt. But Matt had 2 to 3 years prior to that he was mediocre at best.
Yep. They were talking about moving on from him.
Yeah, exactly. So I know things aren't what they were. Shoot, back when Matt was drafted, I don't think had iPhone come out yet. It had just come out or something like that. I mean, we're in a different world now. So you gotta, Trey Lance, your pick number 3, you gotta come on the field now. Zach Wilson, your pick number 2, you're supposed to come out and be perfect now. Anthony Richardson, we drafted you at number 3 not to be an experimental quarterback. You're supposed to come out now. And sometimes it just might take time. Does it hurt being an Atlanta Falcon fan when you've already been losing 7 years to have to wait? Yes. But I do feel like I just feel like this is the guy, if he's given time and possibly a proper quarterback. I don't know DJ Williams from anybody. Is DJ Williams the right person to be with him right now? I'm not dogging DJ, but is he right now? So John, if you've been listening, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Gentlemen, even if you have gone to school to get a CDL and you're behind the wheel of your first tractor trailer driving down the road, you don't know everything that there is to know about driving on the road, because there is no way that they can teach you in class about how to solve every situation. That's what you have right here with an offensive coordinator that just got out of school trying to teach somebody who just got in school. This joker couldn't coach his way out of a wet paper sack with a knife in his hand, because he doesn't even know how to solve his own offense. Yes, you designed the offense. Yes, you put some plays together, but can you tell a first-year quarterback what to do to solve problems in your offense? And coach has said it. Coach has said it on many different occasions. Whenever we were look at the game film, look at the design of the plays, look at how people are in the same, not even the same zip code, they're in the same damn area. Matter of fact, they got the same phone number because they right next door to each other on pass plays. You're causing no conflict. You're causing no confusion. You're causing nothing for the defense. And everybody that looks at this offense, from the nationally known pundits to Rudy Poot like me, we look at this. This is easy to defend because you keep doing the same dumb stuff. Now, referring to Matt Ryan, excuse me. All right, I got that out of my mouth. 2008 when Matt Ryan came here, he had an experienced offensive coordinator from Pittsburgh, a winning franchise, in Mike Mularkey. Brought him from ABC 1, 2, 3 to when he left, got Dirk Cutter. He progressed a little bit further with Dirk Cutter. Then you got the master, Shanahan, who broke Matt Ryan down and built him back up in a year. Matt Ryan admits it. He said, look, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got the MVP. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have progressed. You pushed me. You made me better than what I was. And you can look and see the results of him doing that because Shanahan had experience. This man right here, right now, I mean, it's just like I said yesterday. When you brought him down from the booth down to the doggone floor, down on the field, it was just like when the devil was cast out of heaven. It was trouble up there. Now you done throwed it down here right there on the field, right beside the man. Because there were shots that Big Low you mentioned yesterday, where you would see Michael Penix over here, Zach Robinson over there. But then if you look on the opposite sideline, you had a New England's coordinator here, and then you had the quarterback right there with it. Y'all sitting up there studying together. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. When you bring in a rookie quarterback, you need to have an experienced offensive coordinator over there so that when I come to ask you a question about something that you probably have seen many, many times before, you can answer me. You can help me. You can show me what it is that I need to do. And then on top of it, you got a rookie quarterback coach too. I mean, all this smacks of a worse situation than what we had with Arthur Smith, really. Really. This really smacks of a worse situation because, see, thing is, are you getting, you got some people here that are quarterback coach in name only, offensive coordinator in name only. How, from what wellspring are you bringing advice? What wellspring are you bringing critique or whatever? I remember so succinctly about Bill Walsh with Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, those receivers, where he would go out and teach them where they need to be, what they need to do, how you hold your hands. The ball's supposed to be here when you get here. Things of that nature. You don't have anybody that can do that because this man don't know what to do. You just don't see this on Sunday. And we discussed this last Wednesday. There are people that want to get Zach Robinson some help. Somebody need to be there with him. Man, if you don't fight a snot out of this joke and put somebody there, you better if you're talking about getting them some help. So Zach Robinson's going to get all the credit for correcting the situation, and you done brought somebody in here to help. Ha! No, sir. No, sir. And Red brought out something to me yesterday that, if you guys want to discuss it or not, fine. But Baltimore in their Super Bowl year replaced their offensive coordinator with a 9-4 record.
Yep.
They replaced their offensive coordinator. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility for us to do that with someone who knows this system, because this system is nothing more than the West Coast offense with just a few tweaks. All you got, and really, all you got to really do is tweak this offense, put a few wrinkles in it, and they'll make these people look like geniuses. They'll make them look like geniuses. Make your offensive line a little bit better because Penix is getting time. But, when they blitz, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. He's got to have a hot read to go. But see, that's the thing that's so frustrating. I go on my PlayStation after the game and beat the snot out of these people. because it's on PlayStation, because I got many plays. I have many things that I can do. I got many things that I can do. And it's the same thing. Those things are available to this offensive coordinator. But the problem, too, is that he is not learning things week to week to week. Did you see what New England did to us yesterday? They wanted the first down. They stuck a 300-pound fullback in the backfield, something they had installed that week. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. And it's going to drag
I heard
this
somebody talk about getting a fullback not too long ago. Who did I hear talk about getting a fullback, John?
Man, I've been begging for a fullback.
Let me say this, if I may, y'all.
Go ahead, Ty.
Just a quick rebuttal to Mr. Harris. Evening, Mr. Harris.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Harris.
Great evening.
I know the Mister was gratuitous.
Yeah, I was like, man, whatever.
I'll take it anyway. I'll take it.
Old man John. That guy.
No, like I needed that.
I'm going.
I'm sorry, Tiny. I'm sorry.
I'm going to continue on something I said earlier. This is why it was very important for Kirk Cousins to finish out his term, which unfortunately didn't happen. Because and while you made excellent points, John, we do have to consider the fact that this was not the plan. This was not the original course of action. The original plan was, hey man, and that's why you give a guy like Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed over 2 years. The original plan was, hey, we're gonna get a veteran quarterback that knows the ins and outs of NFL and defenses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're gonna pair you with an offensive coordinator who, has limited experience calling plays on the NFL level. And we would be remiss to say that when Kirk, before he got hurt or whatever happened, he fell off the cliff, whatever. Only Kirk truly knows. But when he was playing last year, there wasn't, and people are always going to complain about something. That's how life works. But you did not hear this loud outcry about the offensive coordinator. 1, we was winning. 2, we was scoring points. 3, we was swag surfing doing Kirk Tobel. Hey, we was lit. We was lit. So I feel like you have to keep that in mind. And also, if we believe the timeline we were fed, the Falcons really wasn't sure that they were going to draft Michael Penix. They really wasn't sure he was going to be available. Absolutely. So I don't think they're playing it. It's almost like they went to the dealership to buy a Toyota and end up buying a Honda. I don't think the plans were to have Zach Robinson be the OC to start off Penix's career. It's almost like they were putting Zach with a 12, 13-year veteran who didn't need as much tutelage as a guy like Penix. But once Kirk fell off that cliff, change action. So instead of getting that Toyota, hey, man, let's go ahead and get this Honda Accord hybrid, 45 miles a gallon, let's do it. Even though we came here for that, that Camry. So I feel like we have to keep all the details in place when we discuss things like this because they matter.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, now I agree with that. How and the problem was too, because Coach just put it up there. Now we were talking about some of the shortcomings of this man. Oh, there you go. Now, Falcon, hey, Hondas are reliable. Now I was going to ask Tidy about that because both cars are pretty good cars.
No, I'm just saying. I went saying one was better than the other. I'm just saying a decision was changed at the last minute. You didn't plan on buying the Honda. Your mind was set on that Toyota, but boy, once you got to that dealership, that Honda started calling your name, man.
Uncle Steve's
so you were
sponsored by Honda.
Hey. So you were talked into it.
No. Sold you that Honda.
Your mind just changed. Y'all know y'all done planning on doing something. Then once you got there, it just changed. The last car I bought, I planned on buying this. And boy, once I got to that dealership, I saw this. Let me test drive that. Yeah, that one right there. It
And then
has.
that man start talking to you. Yeah,
has.
tidy
No,
up.
no, John.
I can get you 0.0 on this one here.
John.
You don't need to go down there.
John, as a former car salesman, I don't.
I didn't
Oh
know.
man, hey,
I didn't know.
me too.
You can't sell me a car. It's gonna always be my decision.
Exactly.
Real quick before anybody
Thank
goes
you.
any further, let me make sure I give some shout outs to folks in the chat. I see Ski's been coming in. Thank you, Ski. We appreciate you. I see the comments coming in. Pamela Johnson poked her head in and also gave some a good opinion about this. We should have drafted a kicker like a quarterback. They wasted a 7th rounder on offensive line who is not a starter. Y'all see the pandemic coming in here. Strapped Up just came in and said Raheem Morris, change your mind, tidy. He could sell a car to a slug. So listen. So let me ask you a question about this, and we haven't touched on this at all because obviously we talk about we're talking about quarterbacks, we're talking about things like that. Let's discuss this kicking situation real briefly. It's so funny, and again, I had the pleasure of the privilege of going up to Foxborough yesterday, and if y'all have ever watched the game with me, I know John when he's not harassing referees and Low when he's not out there trying to get a tan. I always have a interaction with the away crowd. And when Drake caught that fantastic catch for that 3rd touchdown yesterday, and the extra point was coming up, and I was giving it to him in a minute, then I calmed down. They're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "No, because this guy right here, I'm not." I swear, I told him. I said, "I'm not sure," because remember they were viewing the touchdown, so we had a little bit of pause in between, and. Dude, we don't even miss extra points. We don't. So I gotta ask y'all, what is the? I don't know if y'all have a solution, but tell me about specifically the kicking. Jack, I'm gonna go with you. I hadn't heard your voice in a minute. What's your particular thought? I'm gonna go Jack, Low, Tidy, and then John. Jack, what's your thought on the kicking woes of this team right now, as Pamela was talking about it?
Well, you see what's going on in the NBA with Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. So the only thing I can think about is somebody gave Parker Romo that call. Said, "Look, how much you get paid? How much they paying you? We're gonna triple that. Go ahead and hit it over there, far right. Because even on that field goal, he almost missed that field goal.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like kicking competitions is crazy. I just tweeted it out a couple minutes ago. I'm on the way to Flowery Branch. I can do it. I'm watching YouTube videos right now. I can do it. And I might be out there, but it's just disappointing. But then again, we've been having kicking battles and kicking competition issues since the preseason, and we were told that everything is taken care of. I don't know what's up with the Lenny Craig situation. Lenny Craig told me to my face at training camp that this dude can kick a 70-yarder.
Yeah, I was with you.
And I still have yet to see it because they continue to go around Lenny Craig. Probably Lenny Craig might have been the answer. We will never know. But I'm disappointed that we missed that extra point. You should have seen me in my house yesterday. My neighbors they were probably sitting over there like, "Damn, the Falcons must be winning. He over there excited." But I was shocked to see that extra point being missed because that is something that you put through. And then you look at Cam Little kicking 69-yarders, breaking records. We can't even hit extra points. I'm just gonna say that. Hopefully they get everything squared away soon. But that's something to look at in the offseason too. We head coach and OC, man, we need a kicker, man.
Maybe even a young kicker, Jack. Somebody young. Just wanted to make sure everybody knew coming into the arena is our buddy King Ritchie doing his thing. I've been catching him on this Dirty Falcon podcast. What's going on, King?
Man, I'm feeling a little better now, just a little bit. Cause boy, John, tell you, boy, I had to go eat some Little Debbie snack Sunday.
You better not
I
let
just went
Red
to
find
bed.
out about that.
I'm talking about I just had to go because
Not to mention, Parker Romo's from Peachtree City,
Yep.
Yeah, that's
so
the problem.
he was doing this for Georgia. He was doing this for people that's from the city, from outside the city too. Like this is sad, man. He had his moment. That was his
this-
moment right there.
This is super sad. Lo, what you got on the kicking situation? You getting ready to go out there?
Man, shoot, look at they need me. You know, look. You know the rule of thumb. They say the best athlete always punted and kicked the ball in high school. So I'm pretty sure y'all know I'm ready. Just go ahead and strap it up. Give them a good 45, 50 yards.
Yeah, they don't give that to people who be cooking chicken and rice. They don't do that.
But seriously though, the fact of the matter is that it's and y'all mentioned it already. It's because your boy didn't address an issue and thought everything was cool.
An issue.
No
An
pun
issue.
intended. You thought everything was cool.
He thought everything was cool.
Oh
Hey,
man, that almost got past me.
That's why I had
That almost got past me.
It got past me, John. It got past me.
Make sure he don't overboil that rice.
And
to be honest with you, when I was in Larry's stream, I had to issue an apology to Coach Raheem because I said, "Nah, I see why you go for it." Cause man, that.
But wasn't it too early though? Somebody else said that.
Remember the 4th and 2? They didn't go for it
Yeah,
on 4th and 2 either. They didn't kick the field goal. They should have kicked the field goal on 4th and 2, or at least
He
tried it.
didn't want to. I see why. We can't even get the extra point.
They've been doing that all year for the most part.
Well, look, there were a couple of gentlemen that told me who were at the game who said that he was missing in the warm up.
He was missing, and it was so funny. I was one of the gentlemen, and Berto was taping the kicks earlier. And the funny thing was, I saw his son out there. I saw his son before I saw him, but I was looking, and I was like, you know how you see somebody do something like.
Did Berto catch one?
He was literally missing to the right every time. And if you look real close, the referee almost looked like he was gonna give him because it went high over the ball.
It was just barely.
It was barely missed. But you saw the I was looking at the referee because on my angle I couldn't see the exact thing, except when we got there, we had the straightaway, then we had to move to our seats. And I just looked and I saw that referee just looking like, do this.
I do want to thank Parker Romo though, because he did save me $4,000 from not going to Berlin. So appreciate you, Parker Romo, for that.
Pamela said she'd rather them go for the 2-point conversion. Said that Romo doesn't do well on grass. Now here's the thing:
how you don't do well on grass though?
What?
That don't make sense.
Well, the funny thing was, I just think when she was talking about the 2-point conversion, I disagree respectfully on that one because it was 4-something minutes left in the game. New England wasn't moving on us in the second half. I don't know if anybody noticed. I was telling everybody
They didn't give but 3 points.
This was a Georgia game, Georgia Bulldog game, without Kirby being the coach at the end. I think this gave up all the stuff. Defense made very good adjustments in the second half, but we just didn't have what it needed to win the game. I don't know. Would y'all have gone for 2?
No, I would have kept it.
Yeah, I thought
I wouldn't have went for 2 in that.
Yeah, I
situation.
think it was 1 too early, and 2, your defense was kind of balling in the second half. Think about it. We got the second chance back pretty quick.
In the first half.
After that last touchdown, which is a whole nother story. after that last touchdown in the first half, I really feel like the defense really played Falcons defense. The pressure they were putting on Drake. I mean, the force.
Uncle Steve,
the only one-
that's why I don't understand. See, if you look at it from that standpoint, 7 sacks, 2 takeaways, all these forced fumbles, the young guys showing out on defense. How do you lose a game like that?
Just like we did.
Steve, the only way I would have,
just like we did.
the only way I would have went for 2 points is if there is like no more time on the clock.
That's
the only way. But if they get the opportunity to get the ball back, especially on the road, it don't, it don't add up to me.
Yeah, I'm with Teddy on that.
It was way too early. And I'm not saying somebody was talking about earlier what's my man from Detroit? He would have gone for it.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell. But I'm like, no, that wouldn't have been smart to me to go for it at that point. And to me.
Now, I'm going to say this to the question that you asked, Steve. What can we do? We're doing it. I mean, your hands are basically tied. Let's think back to 1998.
Okay.
Who thought that Anderson was going to miss that kick and give us a window to winning that NFC Championship game?
That's true.
The man.
That was back before FanDuel started. They had to pay that man this day.
Okay. Well, no. Hey, they had some other.
You know he was going to talk about something back in the Rock Ages. Let him finish. Go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Hey. While y'all joking, you could be disappeared and they would never find you because you didn't have no doggone phone. Why y'all joking? While y'all joking, you could get disappeared real quick.
Absolutely.
But the thing is that field goal kickers, man, it's a roll of the dice every time they line up the kick. Now, the thing is, you get so used to them making it, just like Anderson up there in Minnesota. Okay, just like our Morton Anderson, just like our Matt Bryant, the real Matty Ice. You just get used to it. And see, the thing is, man, how long do you remember how long it was before we found Matt Bryant? We went through Mike Nickemeyer. We went through
what's Denver dude?
Rich Carlos.
What's the
They would have Elam.
Yeah. Jack Elam. Yeah. Well, Elam. I mean, you went through. I mean, teams go through kickers. They go through kickers, and it is just a situation where, when you get one shot at it, you lined up right there, and it's right in front of your face. Right in front of your face. One slip, one not concentrating, one coming off your foot wrong. Same thing with the punter. So the only thing you can do is, I guess, you just have to hope that you hit on a kicker. I mean, it is just so not a science that it's ridiculous and it's frustrating, And see, we're doing the only. Say what's he?
And it's crazy, John, because when you think about it, during the real Matt, when we had Matt Bryant, it was such an afterthought. When you talk about game-winning field goals, we really didn't. What big money kick did Matt Bryant miss before 2016?
I can't remember. He probably has, but I can't remember.
Any of y'all think of one?
No,
I don't think it was one. So when he left, to John's point, it's almost like the quarterback position a little bit. We got Koo, but how many years? Koo been with us how long?
Like 4 years, right? 4 or 5.
4 years. So there was a 3-year span where we didn't worry about Koo. The New Orleans game, 59-yarder, no problem. 56-yarder to tie the Tampa game. Who thought about it? Nobody thought about it. But
Now,
then
New Orleans last year in New Orleans though, he missed him 3 kicks. Now
I'm some inside information. And I told Lo about this when we went to the game. We had the little spot down there, Lo, where we were right by the kick. The whole time, and I remember telling you this, he was twisting his hip, and this was in what game was it? The Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
The very first game of the year. And I said, he's kind of
changing up his mechanics because he was hurt.
Changing up his mechanics. If y'all remember, he changed his stance a little bit.
Yep. I remember that.
His hip was messing with him all last year. And granted, he did have the couple of moments that he had, but if y'all notice, he had a different approach. He had a different way he was doing things. So I'm just mentioning that to say, if you have a good kicker and the mechanics are great, see Justin Tucker, see Matt Prater, see any of the really good ones, see the cat from Dallas, and I guess obviously add Cam Little to the list.
Mm-hmm.
It's an afterthought now. But we're at a point right now where I think Pam was alluding to it. Maybe get some of these young cats coming out of college. If y'all notice, some of these college boys now coming out.
The Georgia Tech kicker on fire.
They weren't kicking, Jack. Were they kicking 50-yard field goals 10, 15 years ago in college? Not really.
Not as consistently as they do now.
Exactly. So you might not even have to use a 6th or 7th round pick. Soon as that 7th round is over, and you can sign these cats, sign them right out of school. These cats are kicking long field goals.
But this is the disappointing part with Parker Romo. We didn't ask you to kick a 56 or 59-yard to win the game. This is an extra point, man.
Right.
This is something you should have been doing from back in middle school, man. Like
he probably had, but and see, this is the thing. Now, even though he would have, say for instance, he made that kick,
right? You
still were going to have to win the game by a field goal or a touchdown.
I think we would have, John. I know we're playing devil's advocate. What did you see from New England in that? What did you see from New England in that second half that made you think they were going to win that game?
The Falcons on the field.
Oh, well, okay, that's true.
The Falcons offense on the field.
But hold on. In your scenario where he made the field, where he made it,
mm-hmm.
What made you think New England was going to come march down the field and score? There was nothing in the second half that showed.
Falcons was tough, man. We came back and
the problem is the Falcons offense on the field, and unfortunately, I know I want to believe that they could have done it. Mm-hmm. Zach Robinson scares me to death. Zach Robinson scares me to death.
I'm with him. That shot the Drake caught that beautiful pass, and it was like, we're setting up to go win this game right now.
Oh, I hear you. You are 100% right. You're 100% right. All of you are 100% right. But the problem is Zach Robinson.
But this is the thing, John. This is the thing. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think a lot of people really will buy into it. It's the simple fact that we didn't have the opportunity. Like if you make the extra point, they get the ball back, we get the ball back, and they still win. It's easier for you to shake that guy's hand and say, "Hey, man, you was the better person today." I give you props on that. Right. But it's just the fact that it was an extra point. It's almost like in the NBA, you down by 1. Your guy got a steal. He threw an outlet pass. This guy going up, and he misses the layup.
Tidy, you're down by 1. You have the free throw line, and you miss both free throws.
I won't even say a free throw because a free throw is it can be difficult.
It's
depending on
just
who's
like
doing it.
a field goal
Yeah, but
in
I think
football.
I think the percentages equal out more with a layup because you, in a sense, that's almost an afterthought. You know, and sometimes people do miss layups that they should make. You know, some of the guys who are very good, great NBA players like LeBron, they lifetime 70% free throw shooters. And if you're a kicker and you only make 75% of your kicks, you won't last in the NFL.
No.
But you can have a 20-year career in the NBA. That's why I said a free throw. And I know, the percentage is higher free throw, but it's more of a it's more of a given, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes a lot of sense. And as people allude to the old thing, you only got one job.
One job.
Your one job is to get that extra point. I'm not even, Coach brings up a good point, but had Penix not thrown the ball in the dirt, we could have won. That's his point. You have to give him the smoke like you give him praise. I'll say that, but I also say, and I believe this, I tell Lotus all the time when we talk about it, dude, I'm a big believer in momentum. I'm a huge believer in the ups and downs of the game. I know coaching, I know plays, I know offensive coordinators. I hear y'all talking. Momentum has a way of dude firing folks up. Do y'all really think New England won that game because they were absolutely the best team on the field that day? No.
We beat ourselves.
Do y'all think Georgia outplayed Florida this past week?
I'm a Georgia fan, so I'm gonna say
overall.
See, I didn't get a chance to see the game, so I can't really say.
Okay, I don't. I think Big Mo came in when it had the trajectory, the way that game was going, the New England game. New England was done after they scored that last touchdown. Yeah, they kicked the field goal second. I'm not saying they didn't, but they were kind of done. They didn't score.
I agree.
The Falcons had basically stopped them. I see a look of doubt in your face, Tidy. I'm trying to see, is that coming from? Do you think that might be a little bit wrong, or what's?
No, I actually agree with you. I even though this may not be scientifically correct, but I feel like momentum is a form of energy.
Yeah.
So I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Perfect. Yeah,
but let me ask something. Don't you control that momentum? Either stop it or start it.
Well, they did, John. And I think my biggest thing was that missed extra point sucked the life out of the team. Go look on the sidelines. And I don't know if they showed the angles when the guys at the end. Go look at those guys on the sideline when they missed that extra point. Even though it was 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game, I get it. You got the ball back. You legitimately had a chance to win. I get it. But when
it sure sucked the life out of the bar I was in.
Lucy pulls the ball away and Charlie Brown lands on his behind, that takes away what you were building. That takes away to me. And that's my point I was making about that missed extra point. As far as
and another thing, and this is one thing why I do not like, and this is just me. I don't like field goal kickers determining the course of my games. Okay, because when Matt Bryant left the Falcons, Matt Bryant told Koo, son, you're gonna be working every Sunday. Because we're gonna get down here and you're gonna have to save it for them. You're gonna have to say it for them because see, we had the best tween the 20s quarterback in NFL history in Matt Ryan. All right. He's the best tween the 20s quarterback we've ever had. And the thing is that and this is just me. a field goal is a concession. The defense settles for field goals unless it's a game-winning situation where you're trying to protect, keep them from getting to field goal range. It is a concession, especially in light of the fact of the kickoff rules. They've narrowed the field to where, okay, you take a doggone a field goal that goes in the end zone, you coming out to the 35-yard line. So you've given a 35-yard head start on a drive toward the other 35. So you can get in field goal range 2 or 3 plays, if possible, without real danger. So my thing is that I prefer touchdowns. I prefer touchdowns. I mean, field goals are concessions. Take them if that's the only thing you can get.
Right.
But
I'm gonna answer these last 2 questions here because I know I'm gonna definitely have to wrap up here in a minute. Ski said, this should only be a Raheem Morris live and only about Raheem. It isn't Parker Romo's fault at all. We are paying 3 kickers, Lenny Craig, Koo, and Romo, and one of them is on the practice squad not kicking. Respectfully, Ski, you weren't here for the first 2 hours where we definitely soaked, bathed, sprayed, painted on Raheem Morris. So you came a little late. Please go back to the beginning. You'll hear plenty of talk about Raheem Morris. At some point, it gets almost old because it's not a lot more to add when you talk about higher fire, stuff like that. Coach said when he missed it, players shoulder bumped him. And at that point, that's what I'm saying. You had people that were just kind of like out of it then. Pamela says, John, extra points after a touchdown. How hard is it to kick? And you probably don't.
She right.
You don't even get a tryout if you can't hit an extra point.
Mind you, this is the guy that won the kicking competition battle in week 3 to be on the team.
Absolutely, Jack. Absolutely. And so the fact that we even have to discuss this, the kicker, the punter, those are positions, probably the kick returner, those are positions we shouldn't even have to talk about in a game. But because go ahead.
I'm sorry, Steve. And
no, you good.
Ski, my boy, he be in everybody's chats, but how can you not blame the kicker? Like that I swear that just been aggravating my what since the game happened, bro. Now that's a 55, 57, 52, 51 yard, even a 48. But the extra point, like, bro, come on, like that man getting a paycheck just like the head coach, the quarterback, the defensive end. That's his only job. Like, who else we supposed to blame?
Here's the sad part. Here's the sad part. The announcer has to announce that you got to get into a 54-yarder to get in his range, and Cam Little's kicking 68-yarders. You got to put him in a range. He can't kick a 60 or 62 and be, the hero of the day. You have to put Parker Roma in his range. We need to get that Matt Bryant back. I remember that boy was just launching kicks. Even Cam Little's kick looked like he can kick 75. That jump was straight through.
Yeah, well, to your point, Jack, you just made the point. You just said it. Matt Bryant, we didn't, when the ball crossed the 42, like the 42-yard line, it wasn't even a matter of whether he get it. It was a matter of, well, let's get it down a little bit. Let's run a little clock. Let's do this. That's what we were discussing.
Yep.
Even prime cool. You could say that. Prime cool, get the ball right by the 40, 38, 39. Pretty much for the most part, Koo didn't miss a lot of game-winning field goals. During his, I would say anything prior to 23. Very rare did he miss a lot of game-winning opportunities in that job. Ski comes back and says, because Raheem is at practice with him every day, and Raheem knows he doesn't trust Parker Romo. If you don't trust a kicker, why do you have him on the team? That's part of the head coach. That's why you don't blame the kicker. Well, Ski, if that was the case, then and I think you're playing semantics, and obviously everything on the field is connected to the head coach. I get it. You don't want him there. That's cool. That's fine. Like I said again, we went through 2 hours of fire hire Raheem. So quite honestly, You missed that.
Hey,
So,
hey,
like I said, feel free to go back at the beginning and check out most of that. Go ahead, King.
can I speak on that real quick?
Go ahead, man.
One thing that I had to realize, and I spoke on this last night, say what you want, but I can almost guarantee you Raheem is not going nowhere. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because if Raheem leaves, 9 times out of 10, Ulbrich is out of the door from the new coach. Are you really willing to sacrifice a pass rush that we haven't had in the last 15 years because you upset?
Right.
That's sort of why I got what Rich McKay was saying to a certain degree, even though I hate to agree with him about the time. Because if you get rid of Raheem and this coach want his guy,
why wouldn't Ulbrich get the job?
I'm going to scare y'all. I think Ulbrich's going to be the next coach if it ain't Raheem, man.
Yeah, I was going to ask, why wouldn't
Ulbrich
Ulbrich get
in
the
his
job?
interview, I don't think he wants it. I'm going to be
Oh,
honest.
you know what? He did say that.
He said he don't
he didn't want to be a head coach.
Yeah, he said he don't want it. But let me tell you something. If Raheem were to leave, and I know the official assistant head coach is Jerry Gray, but I think if Raheem were let go, whatever, do you think the Falcons is going to let another good assistant coach get out of here, kind of like they did with Kyle Shanahan? But I don't think they're going to let if they see somebody who has pretty much changed the culture. He has changed the culture of the defense in 1 year. What we thought was a change. What was my cat that ran to Jacksonville?
Ryan Nielsen.
We thought that it changed. I'm not trying to say the defense is perfect, but if y'all don't see the difference that this defense with young cats too, Nielsen had a little mix of had more veterans on that team. These are young cats that he's getting ready, that he has, in his bag right now. And I don't think they let him go that easy. Like they'll say, Raheem, get up out of here and take everything you got with him. And Jeff Ulbrich is going to do that. Hold on, Jeff. Hold on a second. Let me holler at you. I think that's the scenario that you're talking about with Ulbrich.
It's possible. It's possible.
I think so. I really do. Fellas, I apologize. I know I've kept us on here as Ski has probably missed most of our stuff here. We've been on here for a long time. And I really appreciate the whole panel, including the ones who had to go. Coach, we appreciate Coach. I'm actually going to be on Coach's show this Wednesday. So look out for that on Coach's Corner. I'll be joining them this week. And then thank Big Low Country Sports. Oh, man, what would a stream be without the negativity of William Avey? William Avey says playoffs, no chance this year. William Avey says, who cares? We trying to win championships. He said playoffs is not a chance. 8 years, not missing the playoffs. Gotta love that positivity. So again, I appreciate the panel in here. If y'all don't mind starting with King. Again, King, we know you kicking things off. I see your stuff out there, man. Please make sure you tell the folks where you are with Dirty Falcons podcast and tell them what you're going to be talking about this week.
Oh, man, you catch me on the Dirty Falcon podcast this week. You'll probably just catch me talking about the defense again because I don't want to talk about Fire Raheem.
Nice.
I get the offense got to figure it out at this point. We'll just talk about 7 sacks and 2, the forced fumbles and everything, man, because right now the defense is about our only bright spot. I'm used to having a special team, and we don't even have that right now. I'm just being honest. But
even Pinion has been kind of shaky lately, King.
Yes, he has. And I mean, like, we've always had like certain stuff. We may didn't win as much as everybody wanted to, but it's just certain stuff that I got used to having. A kicker, special teams. It's just certain stuff as a Falcon. We've been known to have kickers. We have. We haven't had no whole bunch of bad kickers. Not saying we haven't had any, but we ain't really just had no whole bunch of bad kickers for real. Punt or kick. So, I appreciate y'all fellas for letting me up here. I appreciate you, Uncle Steve, for letting me up here, man.
Always.
So I'm gonna go on and drop down back into the comments, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night.
You the man, King, and I take you over John Harris any day, brother. Come on, anytime.
Man, hey, just bring the Waffle House back, Tidy. I'll be satisfied.
I'm gonna try, bro.
Hey, Pamela Johnson, y'all make sure y'all check her out with the Lady Bird podcast tomorrow on AFN. They always do a very good job on there. She's right. First all-female Atlanta Falcons podcast. I do check them out on Tuesday night. So y'all make sure y'all check them out too. Always doing a great job. They have special guests on there every other week too. So make sure y'all support them and let them know. John Harris, my friend, my buddy, my Falcons. If I ever want to hear another side of the opinion, he's going to be the person I go to. Talk to him, John. What you doing on Wednesday nights with our brother Winston?
On Wednesday nights, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have the eye test where we will go into this a little bit deeper. I missed the first part of the show, but so I possibly would maybe rehashing old material, but it'll be on the late side. Those of you who work at Waffle House, those of you driving trucks, buses, working at the post office, UPS, you want to hang out, you want to laugh, you want to have a good time, fussing, arguing, or just laughing and stuff, tune into the eye test, 10 o'clock Wednesday nights. We might start with Falcons content, but we will go all the way over there. If you can hang with us.
I love the beginning of the eye test, and John scares us all by putting his eyeball into the screen at the very beginning. I don't know if y'all ever seen that.
It ain't bloodshot.
Yeah, I see all them veins. Them veins in your eyes, tight. They be coming in and he doing that to scare people.
It's just like this right here. That's money. See that him? That's money.
Oh man, you gotta love my boy. Willie Doc, thank you so much, my friend, for the $5. Thanks for the marathon discussion. Great content. Willie Doc always supporting everybody, man. Y'all, Willie, you the man, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, man. Thanks again. Jack Spade, my friend, my buddy, and I don't care what Big Low say. You my man. If I ever needed to get things done around the house, you the man. So.
Sheesh.
Hey man, I mean, he a bad influence, Jack. My bad.
Hey man, big shout out to everybody on the panel, man. This was great. I was actually at work, decided not to go back to work. I said I'm heading home, man. I'm going to talk Falcons with these guys, man. Tidy, man. It's always good to hear your platform, man. I've been listening to it and watching it for a while. Eye test, John, man, great job you're doing over there. Uncle Steve, man, you blessed us joining our podcast like a couple weeks ago for the first time. Tidy, we gotta get you on soon. John, we gotta get you on soon with One Time for the Fan, man. Y'all are amazing, man. This was been great. Everybody else that was on the panel earlier too as well, from Coach's Corner and Country and everybody else, man. Continue doing y'all thing. Shout out to everybody in this community. One Time for the Fans, your boy Jack Spade. Shout out to Carrie, One Time for the Fan. Shout out to my boy T Will, One Time for the Fan. Sunday nights at 8, Wednesday nights at 8, Friday mornings, breakfast with One Time for the Fan, 9:30 or so. We're just a group of positive Falcon fans that just want to see the team win. And there's still a long season ahead. Hopefully we can go ahead and get this thing done. If we can't, then we'll still be out there, repping the Falcons, repping that logo, man. But I thank you all. Y'all are amazing, man. Shout out to everybody.
Thanks, Jack. Jack,
Props, Jack. Salute.
Thank you, sir.
I'm kind of mad. You didn't give me a heads up. I don't know if had you been to Foxborough before?
I have not. That is a stadium I was supposed to get off my list.
Yeah.
Just doing a
tell
lot
you.
this year, and I couldn't make it to that game, but I will be in New Orleans in a couple weeks, man. So you already know the rise up is real.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you, in Foxborough, it wouldn't have been hard to see you. I'll tell you, I'll just put it that way.
I believe you, bro. It might be like Seattle. I believe you.
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm for real, man. I caught a couple of strays, man. I for real. And
You know, this is a PG rated podcast. I was going to ask you, did they call you out? Because you know it is Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, yeah, they can blue state all they want to, but they got a couple up there that, yeah, man, they.
I know.
Woo!
Yep.
Let's put it this way: I was mentioned with Mike Vick about 5 times yesterday. So,
man, I gotta get you, man. I saw the video of the 28-3 signs and what they were saying and everything. I mean, when you have a team, I saw your video too, Steve. When you have a team that's winning and you saw the fans get to their seats on time and everybody's sitting there loud and proud to be, you know, fans of a winning team at that moment. I mean, the Patriots have been pretty bad the past couple of years, but you already know when you looked up in those stands, all that, you know,
They
all
ain't
those
got
awards and
nothing
everything.
else to do up there.
And let me make it clear: 80% of the folks there were pretty kind. You know, they were football fans and whatever. But I heard a couple of mentions on the way. Deanna, you said it, I didn't. But I noticed Uncle Steve didn't say a word.
Go Speed Racer.
I'm gonna let y'all
go Speed Racer. Go
draw your own conclusions.
But y'all are great, man. Y'all are amazing. I love every single one of y'all podcasts.
Hey, speed racing up there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you. I love the best for last. Honestly, for real, and I mean that because I didn't get a chance to do this on a bigger platform until I hooked up with my buddy in Bird Gang, and I don't say it enough how much I appreciate him being able to allow me to stream into the group back when Facebook was letting you do that as much. And man, I appreciate you so much, Tidy, man. Thank you so much. You know, anything you ever need aside of re-signing Devonta in this guy organization, anything other than that, brother, I appreciate you, and you are the man, brother. Tell them where you are and tell them what you're doing, brother.
Hey, thank you for the kind words, Steve. I definitely do appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. You can find me at Atlanta Bird Gang on all social media, here on YouTube, Instagram, and also Twitter. You know, try to put out maybe 2 shows a week. Exactly which day, I don't. I never know myself.
It's honest. They don't stop. They still come listen because look, even them days
when
your notification comes in, I'll just stop what I'm doing. I'm driving, I see the thing, hit on my thing, I'll just turn it on. So we all want to hear what you got to say, brother. So it's I watched your video yesterday. I watched you last week when you were talking about when you had the press conference on. You were kind of going through the presser last week, and I was just like, hey man, this Tidy's on, so it's time to turn on, brother. So we appreciate you anytime you come on in here. Again, I appreciate you. I had to switch here, so when I cut off, it's gonna cut everybody off up here because my whole computer cut off. So y'all see a different background back here because I had to come upstairs and do this. But I appreciate y'all. 3 hours, 38 minutes. That was a good talk, but good Falcons talk. Thank everybody for coming. Tidy, John, Bigelow, Jack, Dirty Falcons podcast, Coach. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate everyone joining us. Everybody have a blessed evening, man. We will catch up with y'all later on, man. Peace, fellas. I'll catch y'all later, man. Y'all be good, okay?